The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
What?
Let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
Ah!
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig!
Stop! Damn it!
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
We walk out! We walk out! Sport!
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, January 9th, 2024. This sports program starts now. Football was magical last night, was it not?
Hell yeah.
As we crowned a new college football national champion. Congrats to the Michigan Wolverines.
Congrats, boo!
An absolutely dominating performance where the Washington Huskies could have made it a game, but instead the Michigan defense continued to smother. The Michigan offense continued to be explosive.
What?
They go over 400 and some yards total, 350 plus on the ground.
Jeez.
The most dominant win, I think, from a physicality standpoint that we have seen in some time. Now, Georgia smacked TCU in the mouth 1 year ago in the championship, so it's hard not to just say that's the most dominating win. But if you look at how Michigan beat Washington last night, it was exactly how everybody kind of predicted. Will Michigan, who wants to ground and pound in old school football, be able to do what they've done all year against this Washington Huskies team who's tried and true? Well, Donovan Edwards got this thing started with a 41-yard touchdown, then a 46-yard touchdown on the ground. That's number 2 and number 3 whenever it comes to longest touchdown runs in CFP championship history. Derrick Henry has a 50-yarder. Donovan Edwards has a 46 and a 41-yarder. You just saw the motions and the shifts, and you see the miscommunication from Washington. Jerome Moore, who's the interim head coach for the last 3 weeks, as Jim Harbaugh was serving a suspension because of that rat bastard Connor Stallions being a rogue agent, was in his bag. I assume a lot of people are looking at him for head coaching opportunities, but will he be the head coach of this Michigan Wolverines team next year? I think Jim Harbaugh sat down with Reese Davis this morning, and we haven't seen the entire interview as Blake Corum continues to get loose. And once again, that's all on the ground. This is not 1995. This is 2024 for the 2023 National Championship, and they pounded the rock.
Yep.
It was fun to watch. Harbaugh loved that team. That team loved each other. They came back to accomplish exactly what they accomplished, and now the future is all anybody's going to talk about. We will have somebody from the college football world joining us in the next 10 to 15 minutes as Harbaugh got a Gatorade bath after eluding the first one on the sideline with some incredible quicks, because comeback kids got some agility, skill at this incredible old age. I think he also puts about a half a tin in his lip.
Oh, yeah.
Every single day of his life.
Yes.
So this dude's a dog, always has been. His dad obviously cut a promo on the stage as the microphone cut out. Who's got it better than us? Nobody! The Harbaughs are obviously living an incredible high, and now all anybody wants to know is if that guy, who has now accomplished a national championship and has been able to sit at the same table as his father, who won a natty, and his brother, who won a Super Bowl championship, does he want to maybe go check off the list of a Super Bowl championship that he was this close to winning whenever Beyonce put the lights out in New Orleans and the Baltimore Ravens get a massive win over the San Francisco 49ers? A lot of people are going to ask that. Reese Davis talked to Jim Harbaugh this morning. We haven't seen the entire conversation, but I do know the caption of it said that nobody knows what the future holds. That's kind of what Harbaugh's been saying this entire time. A lot of Michigan people are hoping he comes back, especially after experiencing what he experienced last night. You can't experience that in the NFL.
No.
They were singing in that locker room, hail to the They were doing that.
Oh, yeah.
You don't get that in the NFL.
Perfectly.
He actually told me in our Barbara Walters super journalism sit-down.
Yeah, sure.
He said, when I die and they throw dirt on top of me and wood.
Right.
Yep.
I think he saw himself laying in there as they were throwing the dirt on top of me. He said, well, there's wood there.
Well, inside.
So if they're not, I'm hoping they do put me in a casket. He said if they eulogize me and just say he was a Michigan man, he was like, that's all right by me. That man loved that school.
Yep.
He goes back, accomplishes it all through a lot of adversity. Him and his brother obviously have a great moment. That team has a moment now that they'll meet and have reunions for forever. And there's, Tom Crean, former IU basketball coach.
Sure.
1 year going into the season, they were ranked 3. They ended up in the NIT. Some assholes in Indianapolis started a song that said he went from number 3 to the NIT. Now everybody's screaming, fire Tom Crean. That was not us.
That's a bar, though.
But we did hear it, and he did get fired. He's in that family of coaching as well. Couldn't even fathom how motivating and inspiring Thanksgiving is over there. But congrats to Michigan Wolverines. It was an honor to watch you guys.
Incredible.
The Talks Table was here as they were on the sideline last night as well. I think wearing the same exact shirt. That's at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. No change of clothes for the con man.
No change of clothes. I did not plan on the FBO to here. Thought we were possibly stopping by the apartment. So sure, same shirt. Let's not stop there. Let's not stop there. Same socks. Same pants, same underwear. I smell like a hockey bag right now, but it's great to be here. Yesterday was incredible. Early on, too, I was thinking to myself, last year, TCU, this is happening right now. Michigan's getting blown out. If a team has purple colors, Washington's getting blown out.
It was hard. Last night I was saying
Michigan.
Michigan and Washington, in my brain, very easy to.
Yeah, a lot of eyes.
mismatch.
Yeah, because Ing,
yeah.
in.
Right.
That was a tough one for me yesterday, especially with 10 hours on TV. It's going to carry into today for sure. But you're right. Purple in the national championship as of late, not a good color to be wearing.
Yeah, might have to cut them out. And if you do have purple colors, maybe start thinking, hey, maybe we change to magenta. Maybe we
or the all black.
All black. Go all black. That'd be cool with a little white and gold like Washington. But no, it was a fantastic game. Kind of felt bad for Penix as he's walking off. Nothing went right. We were talking about Texas watching that game last night's probably thinking.
How about Oregon?
Oregon watching that game. Like, you got to be kidding me. This guy couldn't miss anything all year, and now they're having all these non-Washington-esque plays. But Pac-12,
that's Michigan's defense.
Yeah. They were flying around, and Pac-12. At least they went out as a national champion finalist. Maybe they hang the banner a la the Colts in the AFC Championship. But it was just domination by that Michigan.
Yeah,
defense.
D-line, offensive line, mindset, the whole thing. Ty, speaking of mindsets, and what Connor mentioned there early was we were supposed to fly back last night.
We sure were.
But because of the questionable weather in Houston, and they literally didn't know if it was going to be a tornado or calm, cool skies, they kind of grounded a lot of planes. Like there wasn't a lot of planes getting in and out of Houston last night. So we ended up staying the night, leaving this morning. It's another slap happy Tuesday.
For sure.
Another slap happy Tuesday.
Absolutely.
Not a lot of sleep, which is good, Ty, because I don't know if you saw it last night. While the college football national championship was going on, and Jim Harbaugh was winning a national championship with the Michigan Wolverines.
Yep.
Jimmy Kimmel spent 7 minutes and 32 seconds talking about Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, he did. And who are we to think that, hey, maybe this Tuesday will come and we won't even mention any of this stuff. We'll
just be casual.
Exactly. We'll just
move on.
We'll talk about how incredible of a day we had in Houston yesterday. What an incredible season we had for college football.
How good the drinks were.
Exactly. How much fun we had last night. Right. Pizza Hut was there, which was, again, they do not miss.
They do not miss.
But, of course, that happened. We get that monologue, and then now we're kind of, going from slap happy to, I'm on the roller coaster. I got the little thing coming down over my shoulders here, and I'm just waiting for Rodgers to come on just to see what he's gonna say. So I'm excited. Yeah, you mentioned it. You were on TV for 10 hours yesterday, and then late last night, we tied one on and had a couple pops and woke up early this morning, and some of us maybe basically got shaken by the shoulders by security for the hotel to wake up this morning. But it's a great Tuesday. We're all alive. Hey, we had a great night. I'm excited to be here with you guys.
There's a couple bodies missing from the vans this morning that were leaving very early from the hotel to make it to the plane. Those people did have phones that were operating. They were called. Those people did have hotel room phones that were called and slept through them. And then there was a health and wellness check that you can always drop in there where they send security into the room. And I'm not saying Ty was certainly one of the people that was missing, but Ty did wake up with a stranger shaking his body to make sure he was alive.
Rolled over to a guy basically saying, like, "Wake up, you're cold!"
That was that's a hell of a way to start Tuesday. So I'm rearing to go. I'm excited for today. We're back, baby. Let's do it.
Ty and Nick, certainly the alarm clock boys were missing.
Oh, I said about
clearly
10
missing
alarms.
My room was right across the hall from his, and I was out in the hallway, and I could hear his alarm going off in the hallway, and I pounded on his door for a good 5 minutes, and nothing happened. I said, well, Houston's got him now.
now.
See you in Indy.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was going to be a Bangkok situation where we were just going to leave you guys. I had no idea. Like, I didn't think about anybody missing the shuttle until I was heading down the elevator at 5:30 a.m. this morning or whatever, and being like, oh, there's no way everybody's here.
No chance.
Like that was literally, with how tired I was like, there's no chance that everybody in our office, after what I just saw everybody doing, and I want to let you know, we celebrated that college football season last
Had
night.
to.
What was last call?
Had to.
In the lobby.
Yeah,
Three was last call?
Yeah, but also,
Well-
I mean, they were kind of a little lenient with that whole thing.
Yeah.
Felt like there was a lot of extra drinks going on past last call. And then we get in there. Pretty much, there was only 4 people missing.
Yeah.
Standard humans, I think we thought, after seeing last night, would be missing.
Yeah,
Makes
probably
sense.
top 4.
Yeah, I mean, Foxy kind of slipped in
True,
there.
true. More so top
Foxy
3.
had the wrong time
Yeah,
somehow.
I just had the wrong time. First time in my life there.
Foxy was panicked. He sprinted down,
Oh.
sweating, through his bag. And we're
Right.
like, Foxy, there's still 2 guys
Yeah,
still
I
in their
normally
beds.
need coffee. Didn't need it. Had a heart attack, so I was wide awake.
Yeah, it was a good morning.
Yeah.
So I'm happy we got everybody back to Indy. Happy we're here today. But yeah, didn't know about that Jimmy Kimmel thing until after the game, obviously, because there's no service in any of these stadiums.
Right.
And to be honest, I know there's a lot of people writing that I just let anybody say anything. Well, I let a first ballot Hall of Famer who's the best football thrower in the history of football say whatever opinions they would like to have. I think that's considered journalism. We're learning more about one of the greatest athletes of all time, I think, than we ever have in the past. And I know you suits are going to say a little bit different, but I thought I knew how today was probably going to go because of how loud it got.
Sure.
And how all parties don't love like that whole thing. Some things I think some people were like, Friday.
Yeah.
Some people, things get real loud where maybe we don't necessarily expect it to get as loud. And I think we're all pumped for this week to go. And then you learn of the entire beginning of the show happening. You're like, well, now I'd be interested to see how this whole thing is going to go. So I'd like to let everybody know we're just as interested as you are.
Absolutely.
And that's coming in less than an hour. I want to let everybody know we did ask him if he wanted to come in the noon hour, just in case we wanted to rerun any of our previous shows in the second hour.
Sure. Yep.
Because we assume today will be a crop program after what we have been through this morning.
Total.
But no, 105 still locked in. His
Okay.
time. He had some stuff to do. Obviously, he's a professional athlete. And I'm assuming after today, we're just going to move on.
Yeah, of course.
Forgotten.
Well, I'm excited
that's
to learn
what I'm
about.
assuming.
I'm excited to learn about Schrodinger's dog in the second hour. That's what I'm most excited from Aaron.
It's not Schrodinger.
Who's Schrodinger?
If you hear
The
it,
Dunning-Kruger effect, Tony.
Freddy Krueger?
it's on me.
What did you think, Jimmy Kimmel?
Schrodinger's dog.
Okay, like Pavlov's dogs or something.
There it is.
Ring the bell.
Is it Schrodinger's
slobber.
cat? Is it Schrodinger?
Yeah, I don't think.
Is it Schrodinger's cat?
It is Schrodinger's cat, yes.
Okay. There
If they tell you there's a dead cat in that box, there's a dead cat in that box.
and what was the one that Jimmy called
The
Dunning-Kruger?
Dunning-Kruger effect,
Which
yeah.
basically said that Aaron's too arrogant to even know he's dumb in a field that's outside of like football, what he's naturally gifted at.
That's right.
Right.
Now, he's obviously the only human in the world that would potentially suffer from that potential effect in the world that we are currently living in.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Remember, we just went through a Bitcoin time and an NFT time
Right.
and a lot of things where everybody became experts very quickly.
Yeah.
Feels like we should have known about this Dunning-Kruger phenomenon.
Effect,
Perhaps.
yes.
So we appreciate Jimmy for that. And also, I understand why Jimmy feels the way he feels.
Sure.
So I'm pumped to hear what happens in the second hour. I'm also pumped to continue the chatter about our brand new national champions. D-Butt, you're on a sideline, 9-year NFL vet, looking so cool with your cowboy
So
hat.
cool.
Wow.
So cool with your cowboy hat. Why do you think this Michigan defense was just so damn great against Michael Penix and that Washington Huskies offense? Because if you look back to what they did to Alabama and Jalen Milroe, like, wow, Alabama's offense is playing horrendous. This is terrible. If Alabama's offense didn't play horrendous, this is a completely different game. Well, maybe Michigan's defense just caused them to play miserable. Maybe Michigan's defense was the reason why Michael Penix didn't play as great. Why was this Michigan defense so good? And is it duplicable for this particular university to do it again?
Oh, yeah, for the same university, for sure. Jesse Mentors, that defense has been phenomenal all year long, wire to wire. They just disciplined, just like the offense. Sharon Moore, what he's done with that offense, but they make you go the long, hard way. I said it a bunch of times last night. They're not going to give up the big plays. Think about just off the top of your head how many times you saw missed open field tackles. So when you're playing a zone defense, rallying and tackling, stapling guys to the ground is a huge part of that. Will Johnson, the corner, I think he won a defensive MVP. I think Mike Sainristil could have did it as well. Mm-hmm. So you also have some phenomenal players. We know how deep their defensive front is. So talented players, great coaches. When it all comes together, they're a tough team to beat. And, they left absolutely no doubt last night in anyone's mind in college football. They were the champs. Closing out this, four-team college football playoff era, going into the next era now. So we'll see what Harbaugh does, because obviously he's a big part of that, being the head coach, even though he was away from the team for a few games. This year, you see how strong, his coaching staff is. So we'll see if he goes on to the NFL level because he did what he had to do at Michigan. Or, he was talking about spring practice, too. So he may be just already ready to flip that page.
I forget who told us this last night. Maybe it was Matt Berry or Reese Davis or Stanford Steve. I forget who it was last night.
McElroy?
I think it was Stanford Steve. McElroy.
Could have been.
Did he?
Pete Thamel?
Slim Pete.
Yeah, Pete Rabbit?
Yeah.
Slim Pete. Pete Rabbit was certainly in abundance last night. I guess it was Stanford Steve. Maybe he was talking to Scott Van Pelt after the game, and he said something about, we normally start spring practice on Valentine's Day because we love football.
Of course.
Bingo.
But I'm thinking about pushing that back a month.
Yeah.
That was the comment that he made. And everybody was like, spring practice, pushing it back a month.
He's back.
Wait a minute now. I think the hiring of Dahn, and I talked to a lot of college football people who are obviously very pumped for Jim Harbaugh to potentially stay in college football because the character that is Jim Harbaugh, and I'm only getting to know it here, I think, in the last few weeks. Mm-hmm. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Best.
Hilarious. One of one.
Right.
There's an entire promo that his dad talked about whenever the people call him quirky, he's quirky. Mm-hmm. And his dad, instead of giving like a fun answer to whoever asked him this in the media, he said, is quirky getting all your players to buy in? Is quirky getting your players to not mess with any distractions? Is quirky basically rattled off his son's resume and was like, if that's the case, call me quirky too. And then walked off pretty much. It was almost like I'm sick of people calling my kid quirky. It's not. He's certainly one of one.
Yeah.
And I think quirky would be a good word to describe him. But I think we're all kind of missing the fact that Jim Harbaugh is a phenomenal football coach.
Great.
What that team went through this year.
Yes.
And he, in his press conference, wanted to make sure everybody was reminded and understood that, hey, we're innocent, by the way.
Yeah.
Here's Jim Harbaugh basically cutting off Blake Corum with a question about the asterisk of the season because of what took place with the Connor Stallion situation. And remember, Jim Harbaugh knows a lot more than us about what was investigated, what computers were taken, what cell phones were taken, what was looked through for this entire thing. And remember, the statement said that they believe Jim did not know any of this was happening. Here's Jim after the championship being asked basically about how people should view this title, especially with the word cheaters trending last night on X. Here's Jim Harbaugh sticking up for his team.
This was not a season where everything went the way you wanted it to. There was the off-the-field issues, which we all know about. Can you talk about the satisfaction having overcome those as well to get to this point? Does it make it even sweeter?
Can I? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, it couldn't have gone better. It went exactly how we wanted it to go. To win every game.
That's his players. Can I?
The off the field issues. We're innocent, and we stood strong and tall because we knew we were innocent. And I just like to point that out. And these guys are innocent. And overcome that. It wasn't that hard because we knew we were innocent. So, that's
by the way,
really what I wanted to say. It went exactly how we wanted it to go. It went exactly how we wanted it to go.
I love that he is getting to enjoy this.
Yeah.
But I also appreciate the fact that he's they've done the investigation.
Yeah.
The NCAA is going to try to do their investigation. We knew in our team meeting room that no matter what was said outside, we're going to try to dominate the next day because it's the only thing that matters. And also, we didn't do shit.
Nothing.
I asked Blake Corum, Blake, did you know they were running cover 2 whenever you were running for 5 touchdowns last year? And Blake said, no, I didn't know. They were like, Me neither. Connor Stallions do.
Yeah, this guy.
I asked Will Johnson, did you know they were running an out route when he jumped one pick? Did you know? And Will said, no. I was like, neither did we. Connor Stallions do. So I stood up there and I said, I had no idea that this guy was doing this. And we all kind of rallied around that, actually, that everybody is going to be attacking how great we are as a team because of something that took place in here by a psychopath. I think anybody that has a manifesto
500
is normally
a bit of a nut.
Yeah. You know,
he came back to the internet last night, too.
Especially titling, and he was at the Rose Bowl. I don't know if he was at the
ring.
I don't think so.
I don't.
I don't think he's getting a ring.
He's making his own. He's getting a ring one way or
he's
the
going
other.
to Jostins and
yeah, because Jess Sims actually broke down exactly what the ring looks like,
and he was in the corner.
All right, I'm gonna handle something. Actually, I'm gonna put Binox maybe.
Yeah, right there,
right up here. But that's something that can rally the group, and they clearly did that to keep all the distraction and noise out. 18 to 23-year-olds, incredible coaching job. Has to be talked about with Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah,
he can coach the shit out of football, and getting to sit down with him. You feel like his energy. It's like, okay, this guy loves ball more than you do, more than I do. And also, this guy wants to connect. Like when he's talking to you, he's trying to make a connection. It's just like he oozes coaching. And I'm happy he spoke up for himself last night in the biggest moment.
You was kind of mentioned, too, great sit down with him and DeBoer as well. But it just speaks to the leadership on that team, once again, from the coaching staff. They're a veteran group, too. A lot of guys that came back. So once you kind of get that, hey, it's us against everybody. Remember when all the players put out the tweet, bet.
Oh, yeah.
Wish I would have listened to them. But, you know, it just speaks to that team, you know, how tight they were. And they went out there and played. Like he said, it went exactly how they wanted to go. If you drew up the perfect game plan for them, everybody in here, we would all say, run for 300 yards and keep Michael Penix in the pocket, get after him, limit the run game. And Michael Penix, you know, he was a little off, but that was, I think, had a lot to do with that Michigan defense, obviously playing that zone, having him ready. He was never comfortable in the pocket.
Beat him up.
He did miss some throws. I think Rome Odunze said he came on the one that he missed. He ran the wrong route. So, once again, Michigan did a great job.
Never happened all year.
No. Yeah, exactly. Because the great job they do on defense, just like they do on offense with the formation shifting and motioning, on defense, they hold looks for, you know, right before the snap and then get to something. So your quarterback and your receivers have to be on the same page. So can't say enough about the job that Harbaugh has done.
Yeah, and like the other thing we've talked about a lot is the football gods. Like the football gods had multiple times throughout the season to just cut Michigan down at the knees. So they started out without Harbaugh. They finished the regular season without Harbaugh. That is something the football gods, if they really did think, or if they really did know that Harbaugh and the Michigan team were cheating, they would have cut him down. Corum would have fumbled on the goal line.
Some point.
Something would have happened, and the Corky thing people are talking about, I guess they're not the same. But, like, do people say that about Pete Carroll? Because it feels like Pete Carroll is kind of the same jovial way, taking his shirt off with DK. Like, you're talking about connecting with players. Pete Carroll is in that Bill Belichick 71 elder statesman in the NFL, but he's still throwing 7-on-7. He's still, you know, jovial as ever.
Pete Carroll, also one of the coaches that has won
Natty and Super Bowl. Yeah.
So I think there's only a few that have been able to do that. You might have to be able to think differently if you're going to be connecting with 18-year-olds and 35-year-olds.
Bingo.
And Jim Harbaugh has been able to do that at a high level. And last night he gets a chance to, you know, celebrate a little bit for all his hard work. Joining us now is a man who had an incredible season, was on the call last night alongside his dog and Chris Fowler and Holly Rowe. Ladies and gentlemen, Kirk Herbstreit.
Yeah, Kirk.
Herbie.
How we doing? How'd it go last night?
We're waiting on you.
Where were you at?
Yeah.
Oh, you're echoing. You're echoing terribly.
I'm echoing.
Can you hear us now?
I hear you.
I think you had your hand underneath. Anyways, where the hell were you? What happened?
Last night?
Yeah.
You want to hang out with the boys?
What's that about?
I wanted to hang with the boys, and Pat left the area that we were assigned to for just a quick hello.
Yeah, I did a quick hello.
We're supposed to.
And then, I did a quick hello. It was one of the best quick hellos
How you doing, Keith?
I've ever done in my entire life.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody in here.
Hello.
And then I thought you were going to do, because you knew all the little bit longer hang, and then hey, how are the boys doing down in the lobby?
Yeah,
That's what we thought was going to happen, but we missed you. Want to let you know The boys handled themselves well.
Mm-hmm.
A couple guys missed the shuttles this morning, missed their alarms, had to be woken up by security and wellness checks in their hotel room this morning. Yeah,
wow.
two of those guys. Yeah, we had a great college football national championship.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about it. Michigan's so dominant. Like, just a phenomenal game. And we talked in the hallway a little bit before you just decided to bail completely on all of us down in the lobby. We talked about how Washington could have got back in that. There's a couple moments where, like, it's a 14-point game, 17-point game or whatever. Washington makes a play. Maybe they're all the way back in it. And what they were able to do all year, they just weren't able to do last night. And I think it's time that we give credit to Michigan's defense for making teams look worse than they looked the rest of the year. What were your thoughts on the game last night? And as you were calling it, were you thinking about, like, damn, this is Michigan is winning a national championship first time, long time, Herbie?
I was you always have your thoughts whenever you're doing a game after talking to folks, and like privately you just think this game could go one way or the other. I wondered if Michigan would be able to get to Michael Penix. Keep in mind, Pat, the style that Jesse Minter used against Alabama in Milroe, who's a very different quarterback in his run threat, they did a lot of pressure. They squeezed the pocket. They brought 5, sometimes 6, and overwhelmed Bama with confusing them up front. This time, they got it done with 4. It was such a different look because the Penix and the receivers, they played a lot more zone, but they disguised. They got in different looks. They really had Michael Penix for the first time in his career at Washington uncomfortable, and almost to the point where I think he was hurrying his thought process up, and it was affecting his decision-making and his accuracy, which is his greatest asset, was completely taken away from him. So instead of me saying, what's wrong with Penix, what's wrong with the Dunze, I walked out of there saying, damn, this defense is legit. And they play old school, fundamental, tackle in space, do your assignment football, rally to the football, and it's effective. So Jesse Minter, to me, after all they went through with all that noise, week 6, week 7, week 8, well, the only reason they stop anybody is Connor Stallions. They know the play. And I put that on a tee. And then at the back end of that, they didn't have any of that, and they still went out and played great defense. So congrats to Michigan. Congrats to those players that were really on a mission since they lost to TCU last year and walked off that field.
Yeah, and maintaining the focus on the mission with all the distractions. That's not easy for anybody at all, even professionals. I mean, it's like how they handled it was incredibly mature. And he talked about putting that up on a tee for Ty Pete. Last night he was doing Pete Thamel on the MegaCast, and the producer, Ben Ward, good guy, TV guy, but good guy. Mm-hmm. Like, we get along with him. Sure. He's great for us. He slides Ty Schmidt's name under him while he's talking. He said, put the name in my ear, putting the name bars up so nobody thinks it's actually Pete Thamel.
It was that good.
Yeah, exactly. There are people I think are kind of, there's a chance.
Who is that?
There was a moment last night that you missed down in the lobby where Ty and Pete were literally in the corner talking to each other. Ty was a little boozed up, so he's close talking. Pete is up against the wall, a little bit uncomfortable. And it was like a good 15, 20 minutes of meeting of the minds. Let's get back to that Jim Harbaugh, Michigan conversation. You talked about, obviously, on the defensive side. On the offensive side, Sherrone Moore, now interim head coach for the last 3 games. We saw how emotional he got afterwards against that Penn State team where he was so thankful for Harbaugh and the opportunity. And I think he knew at that time, what we all kind of learned going forward is like none of them knew that was happening. So that's why they were super emotional. I think there was a bunker mentality taking place. He's in line, right? He would be if Jim was to, doesn't that seem like a natural baton toss right there for the Michigan team?
Based on what happened this year, and Sherrone Moore is a kind of a star in the making. I mean, this guy came in 21, and Jim Harbaugh took a chance on him. He not only is calling plays these last 2 years, he got them back to their identity, which is a dominant offensive line that really sets the tone for the entire team. And these last 3 years, that's been very evident. Now, I'll tell you, from our guy Rich Rod on, they recruited a different style of Michigan offensive lineman. It's taken a long time for them to get it back, over 10 years. But Sherrone Moore deserves creating that culture in that room, and then the play calling, and then taking on the head coaching responsibilities when Jim Harbaugh was down at the end of the year. But I'll tell you, man, more than that, we often watch these college games, and it's quarterbacks and it's receivers and it's a spread system. Yeah. How refreshing for these old school guys to see blocking and tackling and a fullback and a tight end and just
huddling
in a huddle. Yeah, I mean They are kind of an old school approach on both sides, but the plan they put together, a lot of those confusion, you've seen some of those big plays by Donovan Edwards. Washington got out of a gap, and Edwards, to his credit, had the vision to find it and exploded through for a couple big scores. And then Washington, they tightened things up to their credit, and made it a competitive game. To your original point about you thought we were close to this thing becoming 2020. If Penix would have ever been able to have the time, it would have been fun to see if he could have settled and make throws, but Michigan made him uncomfortable all the way through to the end of the game, and they ended up getting that big interception late and secured victory.
I guess the final stats learned from Marissa, Game Day Stats, former Colgate softball player. She said that really good. First ever game, hits a dinger, first at bat.
Dog.
It's all about
Shohei.
Yeah. She's big brain. Big brain. Incredibly kind person. She said that the ticket sales from what she was able to find was 62-38 for Michigan. Felt like 70-30, 65-35. Their fans showed up. I got a chance to talk to a lot of them. And I want to let the Michigan fans know I appreciate the hospitality. I appreciate how nice they were to me. And I appreciate that every one of them, to a T, said, don't start picking us now, okay? They all knew that all season I have picked against Michigan, and they've got to the national championship. And the reason why I picked against Michigan is because I thought the football gods. I thought the football gods at some point were going to rear their little head. That's what the football gods do. With everything that happened. Now, since I saw how it has kind of unfolded and how the football gods have reacted, it's like, yeah, they are completely innocent. The football gods would have punished them in the worst way if what they were alleged to be doing, they actually were doing. So I grew a massive amount of respect, not only for the Michigan fans, but for this Michigan football team and for Harbaugh through this year with their battling. And I picked Washington again in the national championship on game day, strictly because I was told by 2,000 Michigan people, do not pick us. And it was like, you got it. And then they go to win by 3 scores. Did I win that national championship?
Hey, way to go.
You could argue.
What about me?
Get a ring.
Give me a ring. Harbaugh, send one over. I love that team, Herbie. I do.
I was going to say you've been around them, and that's the best part of our job is getting around the players. These Michigan players, you got to really respect what they did and how they did it. Not just this year, but going back to the Georgia loss, going back to the TCU loss. Aiden Hutchinson and that era really got this thing started, the leadership, the foundation that they created, and what they've done and to be able to finish the job the last 2 years. They're just a motivated team. Keep that in mind for all the coaches that are out there trying to build the right culture. Somehow, some way, Jim Harbaugh created a culture where that block M and the maize and blue are more important to them while they're playing at Michigan than that NFL contract or that money. And I'm not saying that that's not equally as important, but they're able to put that on the back burner because they care about each other. And it's a selfless group. Again, it's not an accident that these guys ended up getting to the national championship with that culture and ultimately winning it. Now, can they sustain it is the next question, because that's the toughest part, is to do it year after year after year. And that's what makes us all kind of appreciate and bow down to Nick Saban and what Kirby Smart, these guys do, because it's challenging. It's one thing to get up there. It's a whole different thing when you lose a great group of leaders to keep doing it. And we'll see, that's the next challenge for them as they move forward with Jim Harbaugh or without him.
Very valid points. Tone has a question about that, actually.
Yeah, Herbie, when we were looking at the 2 deep on the cards last night for the game, like damn near every starter is a senior. And then J.J. McCarthy is obviously not a senior, but he could go. Corum's gone. Like they're going to have to replace a lot next year. Can they do that? Because I know they've had great recruiting classes and stuff like that. And does that, do you think that losing J.J., losing all these seniors will factor into Harbaugh's decision to potentially go to the NFL?
I really don't think so. I think there's so much pride in what that program is about, top to bottom. I don't think it's just about this class, even though it's a special group that'll be remembered forever in Ann Arbor and by Michigan fans, and they should be. And if JJ ends up leaving, I think there's something about the thrill, the challenge of trying to build it back up, for a lot of coaches. But I think at the end of the day, for Jim Harbaugh, it's really just going to be, he just got to the top. He did this is his former school. He's an alum. He came back, big dreams. First few years weren't going as well as he had hoped. He makes some changes on his staff, and post-COVID, they've been as good as anybody the last 3 years. And now you get to the top. Is that it? Like, he did what he wanted to do to come back to his school, and he did it. Now, is it just once? And is the allure of the NFL, where he got to the Super Bowl and he didn't quite win it, is that too powerful to turn away from because he wants one more shot to get back there? Or does he say, you know what, I'm just getting started in Ann Arbor. I mean, we just won one. We're going to get on a run here. Who knows? Only he and his family really know what he's thinking. But personally, I hope he stays in college football. I enjoy him. I enjoy his program. And I really enjoy the way they do business and the culture that they have.
Only national champion of the last 10 years is his program instead of program, too.
Come on.
Representing for the North up there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Last question for you, Herbie, on this glorious Aaron Rodgers Tuesday from D-Butt.
Yeah, Kirk, you just wrapped up your 28th college season, second Thursday night football season. Congrats going into the Rose Bowl Hall of Fame as well, so a great year all around. Any particular moment that stands out for you off the top of your head? From this season. I don't want to ask, not the whole 28 from this year.
Yeah, this year.
Easy answer, Kirk.
Well, Ben being with me this year.
There we go.
Bingo.
Every single week really stands out. Just to see, and even people that don't know him, Pat, you didn't know him, then you get around him, and he just has almost like a human, actually not a human element to him. He just has just a sweetness about him.
He's like an angel.
Go Moxie.
He's angelic. Yes. Yeah. Majestic, Mufasa, and loving. He just walks around a room without a leash.
Fight the
and just says hi to everybody. Yeah. He did try to fight the Dubs yesterday. They wanted to get at each other, but they were on a leash, so we were good.
Got that dog.
So, both of them, actually. I said to you whenever I heard about the Dubs, Ben potential altercation, I said, Ben don't want that. I mean, that's a Husky. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Ben's like, friend, compadre, leader, sensei,
Exactly.
Huskies are...
Yeah.
In the wild.
Their canines are for real.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like that is, and Kirk was like, whoa.
Easy.
That's literally what you stuck up for Ben quickly. You were like, let's not just act like handing over the title to a Husky for no reason.
You can appreciate this more than anybody. He was raised by another Golden, so when he was 12 weeks, this other dog was 6. They wrestled 2 hours a day. Every day. You imagine the reps that he got and the technique, because you watch these dogs wrestle and it gets to the point where it's getting real. He's fought so much, and he's an aggressive dog. He's a sweetheart with people, but he gets aggressive with other dogs. So I think he's undefeated too. So I think he's holding his own. He gets into a scrap.
He's one of those centers that had a great high school wrestling career.
Yeah.
You don't need it until you do.
Exactly.
And we almost needed the national championship. Hell of a year for you and for college football. Safe travels out of there. I guess that wind's pretty unpredictable. We got out this morning. It was it wasn't the smoothest,
No.
There was some action. There was live action.
Way to get up quickly.
You're screwed.
Hey, boys, probably the last time I'll be on with you for a while. You guys want to talk about playoffs. Really appreciate. Hey, I'm on whatever you want me.
Hey, will you move your hand? You're talking in your hand. You're talking through your hand.
Yeah, here we go right there. Is that better?
Yeah. Like 1,000 times better. Just welcome
I apologize.
to 2024.
I just wanted to say how much I appreciate your entire team. You guys, we got a taste of you last year. Coming around, but this year having you around so many times, on the Fridays, and the gamers stick around till Saturday and maybe even the Saturday night to watch some college football. Honestly, just your energy has been a huge blessing to College Game Day. And Pat, you specifically, everything you brought to the show this year. I feel like we're just kind of getting started, at least in my mind. I hope in your mind too. And love you, man. Really appreciate what you're doing for the brand.
Hey, let's bring it in. This is a hell of a year.
There it is.
Hell of a year together. Mm-hmm. We went from one side of the country to the other.
Right.
We're in hills and hot weather and cold and rain.
Right.
We saw some heroes up in Foxborough.
Mm-hmm.
And then we wrapped it all up with the Michigan Wolverines being national champions. Herbie, you've been nothing but a gentleman. Congrats on 3 decades of greatness. Can't wait for next year when we start in Ireland with your Florida State Seminoles, Kirk.
Yeah.
Taking on the Georgia Tech. All right. Have a great offseason. We love you too. Team on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Team.
See you, Herbie. See you, buddy.
Wow. Love you, Herbie.
Baby Herbie. See you, Kirk.
Okay, as we're talking to Kirk Herbstreit, massive news happened in the NFL. Ladies and gentlemen, The Tennessee Titans have fired Mike Vrabel as their head coach of the Tennessee Titans. Vrabel led the Tennessee to 4 consecutive winning seasons after arriving in 2018, but the Titans have experienced back-to-back frustrating seasons, finishing multiple games under 500 both times. Remember, they were up 3 scores against the Chiefs in the playoffs whenever the miraculous run of the Kansas City Chiefs really began. They turn it on, they come back, they win. King Henry then gets a 2-year, $40 million deal because he's the one that led their team there. Tannehill was quarterback over Marcus Mariota. He was hot. They were doing it. Then all of a sudden, kind of cooled off. Now, is that because the AFC South got so damn dominant potentially? Is that because Ryan Tannehill maybe found his level after some certain things happened? Is it maybe because they had to lose some guys in key spots that they didn't play as good of football? I don't think anybody on earth thinks that Mike Vrabel's a bad coach, but I do know that Schefter told us yesterday that Vrabel was not in on the hiring of the new GM that took place about a year ago. So the new GM will be able to get the head coach that he's been looking for, and hopefully Vrabel will be able to get to a place that he...
Woo! Yes! It's the greatest day of my life! God!
They fired him, too.
Fired him. They didn't part ways.
Idiots.
They fired my Ohio guy, Mike Vrabel, a Super Bowl champion, 3-time Super Bowl champion, Mike Vrabel.
Firing means you got to pay him.
Yeah, you do.
Idiots.
You don't fire Mike Vrabel.
Yes.
So here's the reason why that mulleted psycho is so happy right now.
We're back.
Because there's a lot of conversations around New England. What's Bill Belichick going to do? Is he going to move on? Is he going to stay? There's actually been momentum on both sides. As of late, Bill Belichick staying has been the convo. But I just watched a documentary series preview about the dynasty. That sure feels like probably the end of Bill Belichick in New England potentially being announced on Apple. Now, whatever the case, Boston Connor's pumped because Vrabes, who obviously has close connections with that New England Patriots organization.
Yeah, he does that. In close connections, I think, is an understatement.
He's in the Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
He's in the Hall of Fame up there. And you, right now, seemingly are 6 to midnight about the thought of, a guy who gets New England Patriots football is potentially available.
Not just a guy who gets New England Patriots football. A guy who just...
If Bill
leads. I mean, this morning, we are flying back, and I am saying Bill's staying. It's done. They met once, Bill and Bob. There's a chance McDaniels is coming back. Bill is staying. That was the conversation around the Patriots yesterday. I mean, I'm happier than a pig in shit. I get Bill Belichick coming back. I get Mike Mother Vrabel, who from Ohio.
That was good.
The
guy sleep.
The guy who, you see who this is right here? You see who this guy is? This is Ty Law, okay? All-pro, Hall of Fame corner.
With the Foxborough Police badge.
Foxborough Police right there. But one of the best police forces in the goddamn country.
Yinzer.
Hell yeah.
This is a Super Bowl. I don't know if you know what, funny enough.
Not the cop, Ty Law.
Let me turn this around. You see what that score says back there?
Wow.
No.
32. Well,
if that's not an omen, I don't know.
Oh, no, I dropped the helmet.
Well, you think that's, if that's an omen? Hold on. Let me just grab that shirt real quick.
Who drafted Mike Vrabel?
That's right. There's another organization.
That's a Bill Belichick shirt. So if anything, the shirt falling, maybe that's the omen. But back to the bobblehead, which still bobbles. 32-29 right there against Carolina. Yeah. Okay. You know who scored 6 of those points against Carolina?
Who's that?
The Ohio folk, Mike Vrabel. So, yeah, I mean, I hope this year is fun, boys. I hope this year and last year is fun. I hope you enjoyed the league not being New England's. I hope you enjoyed what it was like to see other teams go on and win. Kansas City, I hope you enjoyed your 4-year dynasty because it's done, baby. Mike Vrabel's coming home. He might wear...
Okay, so you're out on Bill.
I'm not out on Bill. Bill might... I'm not out on Bill.
Home.
He is coming home. Guess what? There's been a lot of talk about Bill relinquishing GM duties. What if he goes full-time GM? What if he says, you know what?
Vrabes can coach. I have respect for him.
I love Mike Vrabel. He's been through the ringer. He's one of my guys. I drafted him. He packs dips, cigs, jewels, probably some of Luke Littler's vapes, if I had to guess. I mean, I'm not kidding. I came into today like, this is going to be a good show. This is going to be slap happy. This is going to be fun. Just like last week after the Rose Bowl, this is a new level. This isn't.
How about them firing him? That's wild to me.
Crazy. Yeah, get a chip on his shoulder. Get a chip. Come on, get a chip on your shoulder, Mike, and come back home.
Yeah, it's like I think everybody in football feels like Mike Vrabel is a good coach.
Wow. Yeah.
I think in college, everybody in Ohio right now, state of Ohio, is like, what happened in the Cotton Bowl Classic? Have we beat Michigan in a while? Oh, they're the national champions. We're just a little brother down here, Team South. Vrabel needs to come coach Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yeah, probably.
There's people in Ohio saying that. Ryan Day, we are fans of. I'm just speaking about reality and just how this goes. There's going to be a lot of humans in a lot of cities that have football teams that are going to be like, thank you, Tennessee Titans, for not only paying him, but also just giving him the opportunity to talk to anyone. It's not like a trade or
No.
Go do whatever the hell you want for the next however long you want. And Tone Diggs is over there jacked up as well.
Well, to quote the great Lee Corso, not so fast, my friend. Okay?
Well,
if Mike Tomlin's thinking about stepping away,
which Glazer reported.
Shefty said it's going around some NFL circles, why not bring Vrabel home to where he started? And he's Bill Cowher reincarnated. Okay? That's who he is.
Where he started.
Listen, this is two different. Do you see that? One of these teams is in the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
Pittsburgh Steelers are in the playoffs.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't be saying it if Glazer and Shefty didn't put ideas in my head.
That's two towns right there.
True.
Well,
That's two towns talking about Vrabel. Now, they don't know if either of those jobs are going to be available.
different situation.
Yeah, obviously.
Yep.
Bill might stay. We have no idea. That might end up happening. If it does, who knows? Tomlin might coach for another 100 years, which we all assume, but Jake Glazer and Tomlin are very tight. They're not. How about like Tepper? Tepper has a lot of money. Second wealthiest owner in all of sports. He's been waiting for an alpha, I think, to tell him to shut up and stop talking to me about football. You just go worry about your own thing on Mondays. Vrabel would seemingly be that particular character. He's going to be highly sought after, D, but this is not normal. I did not expect this on this particular Tuesday.
I didn't expect to fire him. Maybe mutually partner ways. Did not expect to fire him because, like you said, we all know he's a good football coach. But we mentioned it, I believe, yesterday when Shefty was on the show. When Andy Reid, he was in Philly for a long time. Schottenheimer, he got fired. Sometimes you just need to turn the page. You got a new quarterback, Will Levis. You saw Derrick Henry kind of say his farewell to the team. Already moved on from Tannehill. You got a fairly new GM in there, so now he's going to get his head coach, get a fresh voice in there. So I guess I understand it from that standpoint. Still surprised by the firing, but he will be. Especially if Harbaugh's not available in NFL ranks, I think Vrabel will probably be in that top slot.
I mean, everyone just needs to shut up, okay? What did you say? There's a chance that maybe he wanted a GM. Guess what, Coach, excuse me. Come to New England. You can hire your own GM. We don't care, okay? Bob Kraft, you were just sitting next to him. I assume there's a couple leanovers like, what do you think about coming home? What do you think about hiring your own GM? What do you think about hiring your own?
That's tampering. That's crazy.
That
would be a
That's not tampering. That's not tampering. That's not tampering. That's not tampering.
What, he told John Bon Jovi?
That's not tampering. That's two friends just chatting. That's not tampering.
That's certainly tampering. I think Tennessee's even saying you put that red jacket on in the middle of the season for another AFC thing.
Oh, well, boo, Tennessee. You're a poverty franchise. Sorry, Mike Vrabel. Yeah, sorry about it. You are, okay? You are. You guys suck. That's the reality of the situation. Maybe in 8 years when your stadium's finished, the new one, because the one that you play in now is a dump, maybe then someone will want to go and coach there, and maybe then you'll win. And yeah, sure, Tennessee's got their new quarterback in Will Levis. I bet they do. And I bet Tennessee feels that way as well. But what do the Patriots have? They have a top 3 pick in this draft. Hey,
and 100 and what?
And 120, 110, 115 mil once cap space gets kind of gets changed, and also once a few players who are currently in the building probably end up leaving. Doesn't matter. Why are we even talking about the players right now? We should only be talking about Mike Vrabel, coach for the New England Patriots, if Bill Belichick leaves. But from what it seems like, Mike Reese did report at this time. Feels like it's a Hail Mary for Bill Belichick to be coming back to New England. So book it. I'm ordering my Mike Vrabel. What does he wear? You know what?
He wears that vest.
Yeah, he wears. I'm gonna order a Mike Vrabel.
No, you got to order 2 logs.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Yeah.
If you're not
cartons,
if you're not ripping cigs, if you're not ripping cigs by the end of the show, are you even a Vrabel fan?
Tick, go get cigs right now. Tick is also a Patriots fan. He will
His
smoke
name
cigs.
is Talk.
No, that changed this weekend.
Yeah. He had a lot of tick moves this weekend. He pooped in a private plane, first time he's ever rode in one of those. He also, funny enough, fell asleep in a private plane. Like
doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter.
Let me
Who
dump
cares?
in this place.
Yeah,
I'm gonna sleep here. Thanks for giving me a transportation.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
He insulted a godfather of college football.
Yeah,
He did.
Oh, I can see it.
Yeah, the king. Yeah, exactly. Classic tick. That's tick, but it doesn't matter. Nothing matters right now. I feel so bad for you guys.
Well, listen, we got Shane Steichen, so we're A-okay.
Oh, yeah.
Seemingly, the Titans are now staring down an actual rebuild.
Yeah.
Stadium,
culture, stadium, roster.
Literally everything.
Yes.
Which is great news for us, but then I'm reminded quickly that C.J. Stroud is still the quarterback for Houston.
Yeah.
Which is not fun, by the way. After talking to him yesterday, he just popped in.
Yeah.
Literally just popped by. Hey, didn't want you to be in our building without coming to say hello, both him and the PR guy. It's like, thank you for that. And then as he's talking, every word that's coming out of his mouth, I'm thinking,
oh, no.
This is terrible news.
Oh, no.
Don't ever come on my show again. I don't want to hear anything you're saying right now. I'd like in my head to think that there's a lot of flaws in you because you're leading a team in the same division as the Indianapolis Colts, one in which I've invested. He doesn't have any. Even the clothes that he's wearing. Mm-hmm. He's wearing his teammates' clothes to put his teammates over whenever he's coming to do a pop. And it's like everything about him is perfect. But the AFC South's got Anthony Richardson.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully for 17
Definitely.
games.
Well, we have no idea if he's going to make it through the season.
Yeah.
I hope he does.
Me too.
He had, 4 touchdowns in 4 games.
Oh, electrifying.
He is a guy. If he's C.J. Stroud, Trevor Lawrence, what happened? After he got hurt, like seemingly.
One in 5 down the
weeks in a
stretch.
row.
They fired a bunch of guys today. Doug put out a
Defensive side,
I
Mike
think both
Caldwell.
sides.
Yeah, well, Doug knows. You know, like we heard Bill Cowher talk. Bill Cowher's like, sometimes you just got to move on just to change people.
Yeah.
Doug Pearson saw the end of that. I was like, all right, we got to have a little bit mojo split. But now this cements Tennessee seemingly in the 4th spot of the AFC South looking ahead. And like, if Vrabel goes on to have success somewhere else,
New England.
it's going to be the same exact conversation about like when people move on from great quarterbacks. It's like, why would you do that whenever we are where we are and what the world's going to look like? But remember, that Tennessee Titans organization did trade A.J. Brown middle of draft night whenever they just paid a quarterback who might not necessarily be the greatest quarterback in the NFL. You take away his best weapon, he goes on to have a historic year somewhere else. So there's been a lot of discourse in that Tennessee Titans organization. Hopefully the future will be better. Hopefully Vrabel will be coaching in a league that is not in the NFL. But I'm very thankful he is out of the AFC South. We talk about quarterbacks changing spots and having great success. Matthew Stafford leaves Detroit, goes to Los Angeles after a vacation in Cabo in which he was sitting in a hot tub with Sean McVay. Right. He goes to the Los Angeles Rams after a lifetime in Detroit, wins a Super Bowl, is in commercials, gets his Hall of Fame credibility basically cemented. Yep. And then now, wild card weekend. He heads back to the Detroit Football Lions. All Foxy has been dreaming about his entire life as a Detroit Lions fan is to go 9-7, which when it was 16 games, and a playoff win. This year had their best year by far. Got screwed by the refs actually against the Dallas Cowboys when they tried to add a little sugar and salt to the standard reporting ritual that players have to do with the refs.
First time I've ever seen him win 12 games this year.
12 games.
Wow.
Playoff game. Home playoff game.
Wow.
Favorite.
Eminem's going to be on the sideline.
First one in Ford Field history.
He's doing the national anthem.
And you have to... That would be awesome.
And Ninja is flossing next to him while he's doing the national
He's
anthem.
doing this one.
Yeah, he's doing this one.
This one here on the Twitch. I like the hat.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Like New Year's
Kid Rock's
Eve.
wearing a
Three's hat.
tuxedo.
Shout
He was
out.
wearing in there.
Playing guitar.
But then Matthew Stafford, the big bad wolf, coming back home. Now, if you start looking at his records and you add this Puka Nacua one for rookie yards, he has them all.
Yeah.
He has every record when it comes to throwing a football to somebody and catching it, which is a massive part of the quarterback statistic. The dude's got a live arm. He's been playing a long time, loves ball. And boy, I think whenever he lays his head down at night, he's thinking about going into Detroit. And I don't think there's a lot of, let's give back to that city. It's a, could you imagine if we walk in there in just one last nope out of Detroit? Foxy, I know you've had to think about it.
So much.
And you've taken a trip back in time a few different times with some videos. There was a 9-minute video that was released whenever he left Detroit.
Such a good video.
Like a great video talking about how much he loves Detroit.
Yep.
And then obviously there's highlights coming out of Stafford and the things he said about Detroit. He's been nothing but classy. But in that fourth quarter, when it's a close game.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
Is Matthew Stafford going to do Matthew Stafford stuff and steal the joy out of Detroit? A lot of us are thinking no, because it's the brand new Lions.
That's right.
But boy, there's a lot of people out there hoping and praying that the Detroit Lions get Matty staffed in the first round. And that's got to be conflicting for you and all the Lions fans.
Yeah,
Fonzie.
no, it's absolutely brutal. I can't think of any other playoff matchup I wouldn't want. Matthew Stafford coming home. And, I've loved this dude. 12 years. He gave his entire to this city. And now this is it. Like, we went same old Lions to brand new Lions. And all we want to see is a playoff win. One playoff win. And, aside from all the story and stuff, this matchup on paper sucks. Stafford's going to throw all over us. Our DBs, our secondary have not been great. I would say Lamar Jackson is the best quarterback we played all year. Absolutely torched us. Stafford is by far the second best quarterback we'll play this year.
Dak?
It's going to be
Jordan
tough.
Love.
Yeah. So I guess the Detroit Lions are trying to play little petty games.
Oh,
What's going on?
Little same old Lions games.
Oh, no. What?
Is that what I'm seeing from a report?
What?
There was a Stafford jersey ban put in place for the stadium.
Kind of love that.
And then Kelly Stafford responded, and she said, well, this is sad because it's the completely opposite of how we feel about this city. But Matthew has always been the bigger person and will continue to be that. Praying for an incredible game with 0 injuries. Okay. Thank you, the Staffords, for taking a high road.
That is awesome.
Is that like a Lions fan group or something?
I think the fan.
Sorry, I'm just looking at what are we doing? This can't be real.
Love it.
This cannot
the
be
Detroit
real.
Lions.
It is.
They
No.
speak for all Lions fans.
I think actually, once again, we are joking around.
Yeah.
But I think MCDC was the one that said, I'll tell you what, man,
I don't want to see one goddamn Matthew Stafford jersey in here, man.
Not one.
We'll throw you in with the kindling if I see it, all right? Get them out, man. Didn't do anything for us, man.
do we have any Matthew Stafford jerseys in the building? Do we have any of those? Do we know?
No.
Truth be told, there's one on the way, Fox. I want you on the right side of history.
What's going on,
A
Dirk?
Stafford, Jersey, Rams.
Yeah, so that's a win-win.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a win-win.
Coming for you, buddy.
No, listen, I already rooted for
jersey.
Matthew Stafford when he won the Super Bowl in his first year with the Rams. I said, Lions, we stink this year. MCDC's got to build the culture. I'll be a Rams fan when we get to the playoffs, and it was a good ride. It was actually one of my favorite NFL rides of all time, but now everything's changed, and we're going. This Lions team is going.
Coming off a week of rest too.
Oh,
Let
man.
the arm rest.
gonna
Just
be
spin
live.
it all year long.
Jersey ban, huh?
Yeah. Okay.
All I did for this place.
Jersey revenge game.
All right.
Okay.
And Kelly's quote tweeting it.
Oh, yeah.
And she's putting it out. She's
Why?
like, oh, yeah, we saw it. Matthew's heard about it.
Yeah, bet.
Yeah. Bet tweet coming.
Is that a same old Lions play?
I mean, there will be people wearing Stafford jerseys.
Better not be.
I guarantee it.
Better
and
not
also,
The security from Park Prospect or whatever down there in Houston's going to kick them
look,
out.
hope
I
the
know
Detroit
we're a
line
tough
doesn't see it.
and gritty city, the toughest and grittiest city in
Wow.
America,
Whoa.
but we are a classy city. So I'm sure everyone, quick
Those
standing
don't go
O
together.
as
Just-
he
I
walks
don't think I
out.
heard that
If you guys
And then
are,
it's
if you guys,
over.
if you guys
You
are
gotta
the
pick one.
classiest city while also being the toughest and the grittiest,
Right.
congratulations. Because every tough, gritty city that I've seen, nowhere near the classiest.
Nope.
You guys must have the most range, I think. That's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, it's just like when Vinny would go back to the Patriots. You know, you quick clap and then it's game time. We go.
Well, I don't think that's exactly how it went.
That's what I was told.
They said some terrible things.
Yeah.
And he won them some games.
A lot of, he won some Super Bowls.
Big ones.
Hour 2 on the other side with Aaron Rodgers and AJ Hawk. I'm sure it'll be uneventful. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. Might change their life. Take 3.
Hello and welcome to Office Championship Wrestling live in Indianapolis, Indiana. Tonight we have a straight to hell match in which the devil will battle against our office wrestler, Dylan Boston. You might be wondering how we got here. Let's find out right now.
And now we have to make a deal with the devil.
Yeah, no big deal. Classic trial by combat situation. We got our champion, Dylan Bostic. All he's got to do, win the match, 1, 2, 3, and we're home safe.
The only man that would take the job to protect us from the devil himself, Dylan Boston.
Like you mentioned, Pat, there's probably about 5 or 6 other guys we'd rather have in this position, but we'll take Bostic, I guess.
Not only are all of our souls on the line. The Office Championship Wrestling Championship, presented by Natural Light, is also on the line.
Jesus, the devil's trying to put Bostic straight to hell!
I do not want to go
Good
to
God,
hell!
no!
Don't do
Good
it!
God, no! Come on, Bostic, Pat!
Oh, no! Oh, my...
I'll see you in hell, Pat. The goddamn Easter Bunny's out here! What the hell's he doing here?
The Easter Bunny is obviously here to help Dylan Bostic. Wait a minute. No!
Oh, no!
The Easter Bunny's been on the devil's side this whole time. Jesus Christ! Jesus Christ!
What the hell's Jesus Christ doing here?
The power of Christ is compelling Dylan Bostic.
Look at this, Pat! Jesus Christ is bringing Bostic back to life! Jesus is going insane! And now Bostic's kicking wholesale ass in the ring!
Jesus Christ has come to help Dylan Bostic defeat the devil and defeat the Easter Bunny. What's gonna happen here?
Good God Almighty, it looks like he's going up in the scissor lift!
Jesus is lifting the scissor lift! Jesus is now telling Bostic to come down from
Don't do it, Bostic! Don't do it! Oh, my God! Bostic's dead! He's dead! You can't tell from home, but that scissor lift is about 8 stories up, Pat!
80 feet in the air! Oh, wait! He's tuning up the bed! The devil!
Super kick! Into the casket! The devil goes down! The devil goes down!
Jesus shuts the casket!
And
Straight
that's
back to
it!
hell! The devil goes straight back to hell, where he belongs!
With the assist from Jesus Christ of Nazareth!
Dylan Bostic saves the PMI office's souls and wins the OCW championship right here!
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey!
What?
Let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig!
Damn it!
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport!
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, January 9th, 2024. Hour 2 of this program starts now.
Football!
Happened last night. We have a new national champion. It's the Michigan Wolverines. Congratulations to them. We're very lucky to be there. Football is also breaking news in the NFL as a coach has been fired from the Tennessee Titans by the name of Mike Vrabel. I did try to FaceTime him during a commercial break. He didn't answer. Asshole. But I was trying to do some journalism. I got nothing in response. We'll keep our ear to the ground on the situation. There's a much happier and jovial toxic table. Boston Connor, you've been flying around on Cloud 9 since hearing that the Tennessee Titans have fired Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, I was just singing that song. This is gonna be the best day of my life. I hate that song, but that's all it's going through my head right now because that's genuinely how I feel right now. I cannot believe that the Tennessee Titans just imposed a 50-year curse on their own franchise. What idiots? What are we doing, Tennessee? Just so foolish. But again, hey. That's up to them. It's all balls in New England's court now, and Ian Rappaport has already tweeted, obviously, keep an eye on New England. So again, look, I feel bad that you guys aren't having as great of a day.
I'm having a great time.
Okay, good.
I'm having a great time.
This is the happiest I've been in.
What about Bill?
Just throwing this guy to the garbage. Throw him in the
dumpster. At a certain point, you just have to kind of listen to what people are saying. And sure, I've said in the know at the time, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about, Tommy? But maybe he did. Maybe he did know something. And now they're saying Hail Mary
Mike
to
Reese,
bring Bill back. That per Mike Reese. I mean, sometimes, look, I would love for him to stay. I still feel that way. But I have to come to grips with the reality that that's just not possible. But the other reality that is now joined to that is that Mike Vrabel is the head coach of the New England Patriots.
Do you think all of New England feels the same way you do right now?
I checked the pulse. I checked the pulse during the break. Kind of split, which is weird because a lot of the people that are now saying they want to keep Bill, they were running him out of the building after week 3, and so I'm going.
Oh, you're a fickle bunch, huh?
Yeah, exactly. I'm one of those people saying, okay, I see where you are now. They saw the Dynasty, trailer and got all teary-eyed, nostalgic, and now, oh, please don't leave, Bill. They weren't saying that. And now that Vrabel's here, keep Bill. Shut up, okay? Look, that's not going to happen, unfortunately, and Mike Vrabel's coming home.
One half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys, Tone Diggs is here. You were trying to push for him to go to the Steelers, especially with Glazer, who is friends with Tomlin, reporting that Tomlin might step away for a little bit.
Yeah, Titans are just pawns in this entire game. I don't know who is the king at the top here, whether it is Kraft and the Patriots or it could be the Rooneys and Steelers because they know that Tomlin's walking away. He's already told them that or something like that. But one of these franchises called Vrabel and said, hey, walk into the owner's office, tell them to S your D and F off until they fire you. And then we're going to hire you, bring you in, make you the highest paid head coach. Bing, bang, boom. Titans just got played.
So I don't think that's
okay.
We don't know if that's true. Once again, we do not know if that is
pretty sound logic.
Potentially, allegedly, that took place. None of us were expecting him to be fired. 9-year NFL vet, Darius J. Butler. Everybody has immense respect for Vrabel. And you hear this guy who's been on Bill's side this entire time. Yeah. Now be like, oh, they're saying he's gone. All right, if he is, then we got to get the next best thing.
Exactly.
And he moved on to Zip on the Ball Zappy, Jared Studham, Cam Newton, Mac Jones. I mean, he is a loyal to the Patriots guy type. Vrabel going back there would be a great story, but who knows? There's going to be other opportunities. Schefter texted me during the break. He said, that's 6 would make 7 if Belichick leaves in the coaching spots. So that's Schefter saying,
I was right.
Remember?
Remember?
Joining us now, college football national champion, Super Bowl champion, a man that flew back to Indy with us this morning, then hopped in a car and drove over to Columbus. AJ Hawk. AJ, Ohio State Buckeye legend, Ohio legend. A man who's one of the toughest humans of all time and a great football coach in everybody's mind is getting a fresh start somewhere else after being fired today. Surprising to all of us, AJ. Surprising to all of us.
Yeah, definitely surprising. But I think when you talk to anybody, wasn't the GM had come in last year. The GM did not hire Vrabes, who's there. And whenever things happen like that, sometimes it just they flip. And I guess you got to bring your own guy in.
Not only did he not hire Vrabes, Schefter said yesterday, and I don't know if we knew this or not, Vrabes was not in on this particular GM. There's another GM that Vrabes campaigned for, seemingly, is what Schefter said. So that was a shot clock, seemingly, since the beginning. Like, you're either going to win or we're potentially going to move.
You better win a lot of games. If you're the head coach and that's the situation, you better win a lot of games.
If you openly go, nah, and then they bring him in and go,
shit.
Great to see you, man. I did want, you're number 2.
Love you, Rand.
You're number 2 for sure. The other guy. So now that Vrabel's on the road, there's a lot of teams that are going to be interested. They obviously, New England, Pittsburgh people, if Tomlin bounces out, if Bill ends up going to New England, Tepper has a lot of money. Would Vrabel not be the perfect guy to go down there and just say, hey, listen, drink throwing billionaire old man, just get the hell out of my way? Maybe. And that's maybe what they need down there. There's going to be other jobs that are going to be open. Vrabel's going to be everywhere. That is not what we are talking about right now, though.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, for 4 seasons? 4 seasons now.
Yeah.
We've had the incredible opportunity to have a conversation with this man every single Tuesday of the season. The first 2 years we did this back-to-back MVPs. Those happened to be during the COVID years where there's a lot of other stuff happening as well due to this guy's decisions on whether or not taking a vaccine.
Yeah.
Had a clever immunized joke at a press conference.
Fantastic.
Kind of snuck one, through the 5-hole there.
Yeah, got him.
Then that came back later. It got real loud all over the world quickly. Then there was obviously the Green Bay Packer transition era that happened. What I've learned is everything this guy does is monitored, watched, loved, or hated.
Yes.
Last week got real loud.
It did.
Last night, there was a 7-minute rebuttal from the person who we can understand why he was completely upset. Ladies and gentlemen, 4-time NFL MVP, friend of the program, host of Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen, Super Bowl champion, first ballot Hall of Famer, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
How you doing, pal? Aaron Rodgers Tuesdays have certainly caused some conversation, haven't they, Aaron?
Yes. Conversation, controversy, debate sometimes.
Book club,
interesting,
too?
Book club, yeah. A lot of interesting things have come from this show.
Well,
a lot of people that love the show. A lot of people love the show. A lot of people that want to censor the show.
Whoa.
At least my segment.
I've heard a lot. I've heard a lot about that. There's been a lot of articles about calling me reckless. And now this goes back to COVID, by the way. I was being called a murderer alongside of you because I was allowing Aaron Rodgers, first ballot Hall of Famer, the current MVP of the NFL. I was allowing you on my platform. Don't even let him on your platform. You don't think Aaron Rodgers has a platform? Okay, got it. Okay. So I was letting you on my platform, and it was injuring people and scaring people and potentially killing people. That was during COVID. I was getting murdered in different languages.
Killed.
I mean, it was a wild time, as were you, obviously, but I just got a chance to kind of experience it. That whole conversation came back up now, once again, over the last week. You've obviously seen it all, heard it all. You said yesterday at your press conference with the New York Jets where you said, I will be addressing that tomorrow. Jimmy Kimmel obviously had a 7-minute and 32-second diatribe last evening to start the show, kind of explaining his side of the entire thing. A lot of people said they respect more jokes in there.
Yeah.
A little bit more jokes. Sure. Seemed like it was a little bit more of like, he was super bummed out. Just kind of wanted to get it out there. Aaron, I think this is the perfect time for you to kind of address your side of this. You've been threatened to be sued. You've obviously been talked about by a lot of people yet again, and I'm sure you have thoughts on it. The mustache looks great. Go ahead and take it away, pal. And I want to let you know, I will check you. Okay?
Damn right.
I will check you, okay, on anything you say that I know isn't true. Now, there's going to be a lot of stuff you say that I'm all hurt. Just let me know if I should check you, please, with what you're talking. You have more research than me. Anyways, Aaron Rodgers, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, the research, that's a whole nother story. I mean, why would you do any research on anything, ever look into anything? Listen, I think we should just get into it, though, just so we can have the woke establishment who's just tuned in for, this part. Let's just get this out of the way first, and they can move on with the rest of the day, and we can all move past this. It's been an interesting week for sure. Very, very interesting week. A lot of things have been said. A lot of people have been taking shots at me without mentioning their vax status first, which I thought we established with Ryan Fitzpatrick. That was how we're going to do things moving forward. We haven't done that, obviously. So,
Nick Wright,
jokes aside, I want to.
Nick Wright did.
Listen,
Nick Wright did. I heard Nick Wright.
Yeah. Listen, jokes aside, I'd really like to get into this and then let's just move on. So, the history of this, before I get into what I said, what I actually said, and how I feel about all that. The history of this, whatever this is between Jimmy and I, this goes back to COVID times, right? And in COVID times, he mentioned on his show jokes about my immunization, which I know you also made a little joke about it. I'm not going to get into that whole thing. I've talked many times about that, but I made a joke about that, and the fact that, my own research, he didn't just stop there, though. He made a lot of other comments about unvaccinated people, mentioning that they don't deserve treatment. If they're at a hospital, they shouldn't be given a hospital bed. He made comments about repurposed drugs that were being used all over the world that have incredible safety profiles. That were derogatory. He mentioned ivermectin being horse-based and pushed that whole narrative for a long time. He gave a platform to one of the biggest spreaders of misinformation during the COVID times, Dr. Fauci. So in my opinion, he ripped me about the vax, and that turns out to be an L on many occasions because the vax was not safe and effective like we were told that it was in the beginning. There are a lot of injuries now that we've seen related to the vaccine. So in my opinion, you went after me. That's fine. You're a comedian. Go for it. Not offended, but that was an L. Fast forward to, again, unprompted. We're talking on our show, as we do, about a lot of different topics. Somehow the Epstein client list comes up. And I said, it's interesting, and there were for a long time. Even still, there hasn't been a list that's been released. There's been one person's, deposition from a 2015 case, right? But we said there's an excitement to expose corruption. And what I joked about the other day about popping a bottle, there's excitement about when the corruption anywhere gets exposed and people who are accused of these heinous crimes get exposed. That will be nice, that we can get this all out in the open. That's not there. So I made this comment on the show whenever that was last year, right, I believe. And then unprompted, he comes out and says that I'm an overly concussed wacko. In my opinion, it seemed like because I believe that there was a list and that there were names on that, right? So, then we fast forward to this last week, right? And I said that a lot of people, and I'm quoting myself here, a lot of people, including Jimmy Kimmel, are really hoping that doesn't come out. End quote. That's what I said. That's the entire quote. Okay? I was referring to the fact that if there is a list, which again, this hasn't come out yet, this was just a deposition, right? And there are names on it, then that would be the second time that a soft brain, junior college student, wacko, anti-vax, anti-Semite, purveyor, spreader of misinformation, conspiracy theorist, MAGA, whatever other things have been said by him and other people in the media would be right twice. Now, let me just say that is the truth, number one. Number two, I totally understand how serious an allegation of pedophilia would be. So for him to be upset about that, I get it. Did you watch the quote? Because that's exactly what I said. Verbatim what I said on the show. Okay? I'm not stupid enough, even though you think I'm an idiot, and you made a lot of comments about my intelligence, but I'm not stupid enough to accuse you of that with absolutely zero evidence, concrete evidence. That's ridiculous. So I'm glad, and I think we can agree on something, is that one, those crimes are heinous, and two, I'm glad you're on the list because those who are on the list, and this is what I think we can agree on, that at minimum there should be an inquiry into their involvement, especially if they went to the island, and at maximum there should be an investigation into it. So I hope that you'll give the same type of energy to these heinous crimes when they do come out, and the names do come out, and there is an inquiry into it, that you gave to other subjects that I actually mentioned that you spent a lot of time working on. So I'd like to put this to bed to move forward. I don't understand, to just finish this up, I do understand. But I don't understand a Mike Voss comment because he didn't help out either. And I'm going to quote Mike Voss. He said, Aaron made a dumb and factually incorrect joke about Jimmy Kimmel. It should never have happened. We all realized that in the moment. Mike, you're not helping. You're not helping because I just read earlier exactly what I said. So, and this is the game plan of the media. And this is what they do. They try and cancel, and it's not just me. It's nowhere near just me. I mean, if you look at all the different people who've been censored from the internet especially during COVID, the canceling that went on, the censorship, using the government to try and censor people that happened. And if that doesn't work, then they go to name calling. I mentioned a lot of the names that I've been called, and they don't stick because I'm not anti-vax. I'm interested in informed consent and things that are in the best interest of my body. I'm not a MAGA. I've never had any affiliation with anybody associated with that movement, right? Which is okay if you are, though. Like, there's different opinions all over the place, right? If you're that's your ideology, that's fine. I'm not a super political person, okay? Do whatever you want. Conspiracy theorists, that's fine. Because if you look at the track record of conspiracy theorists in the last few years, they've been right about a lot of things. So I don't care about that one. Anti-Semite, that was called, that's just like, this is their game plan. They use these words to cancel people. and they went and ran with this because it's the crazy anti-vaxxer wacko again, talking about, accusing somebody of being a pedophile. Like, of course, this is the game plan that they use. Incorrect, but that's the environment that we're in. There's a lot of people who have been captured by various, entities, government entities, whether we're talking about pharmaceutical industrial complex or whether we're talking about believing that the government has a best interest in mind and we're puppeting, various narratives. In the end, if you are not someone whose opinion aligns with the mainstream narrative, this is what they're going to do with you. And it's not me. I'm not a victim. I don't give a shit. Say whatever the hell you want about me. That's fine. Like the people that know me and love me, you know what I'm all about. My teammates know what I'm all about.
Most inspiring
I don't have,
teammate.
like,
Most
I've
inspiring
never
teammate, by the way. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Won an award in the middle of this whole thing from your teammates. Prima donna, obviously.
Some people puked because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saw a guy cry.
But listen.
Saw a guy cry because you were named the most inspirational teammate.
Should we say?
That was not like joy,
Listen,
tears of joy.
I still, in the end, to sum this up, listen, I still haven't popped a bottle because there hasn't been any list that's come out. And I'm glad that Jimmy is not on the list. I really am. And I don't think he's the P word. And I think it's impressive that a man who went to Arizona State and has 10 joke writers can read off a prompter. So, my education at JUCO and my 3 semesters at Cal that I'm very proud of has worked out for me, and I'm glad to see it's worked out for him as well. So I wish him the best. Again, I don't give a shit what he says about me. But as long as he understands what I actually said and that I'm not accusing him of being on a list, then I'm all for moving forward.
All right, thank you for your time there. Thank you for addressing it.
Hell yeah.
There's a few things that I'm going to have to check you on in there. Okay, as you're going
Please
through.
do.
As you're going through there,
Please.
I was making a checklist for the CNBC folks, and, the whole crew. You said that Anthony Fauci was the biggest spur of misinformation. I remember he was throwing out opening pitches terribly, worst of all time. And he was the guy. He was the one giving the information. And then he said that's proven to be wrong. I assume you're referring to some studies or something that you have found, and obviously you've invested a lot of time in because you've been called a murderer, a killer for not getting the vaccine. I assume you've paid close attention. If you would like to expand upon that particular statement that you made early in your response there, I think that'd be good for all parties.
I don't know if he
this is what I'm.
to, but yeah.
This is what I'm supposed to.
Oh yeah.
Right? Ain't I supposed to?
Yes, this is journalism.
Let me indulge you. First of all, there are dozens of studies that talk about that have done by reputable places that have been published in reputable journals that talk about a variety of different subjects, including the efficacy of masking, efficacy of lockdowns, efficacy of a number of different medicines, repurposed medicines, antiviral, anti-malaria medicines, stuff that was used all over the world. In order for the vaccines to get emergency use authorization, right, the EUA, this is what people don't understand. It had to be that there were 0 early treatments that worked against COVID, right? So what did Dr. Fauci say? There was nothing. There was nothing they could do. All they did, this is the protocol. Somebody gets sick, right? Send them home till they got really horrible symptoms, and then bring them back and put them on remdesivir, which is $3,000 per dose, and a ventilator. And the statistics are staggering about people who went, especially on ventilators, especially the elderly, and it's devastating and extremely sad.
I remember those times people weren't allowed to go into the hospital and see their family, right? I mean, that was at the very.
And I know it's crazy, and this is maybe an old way of doing things, but I enjoy reading, and when I'm reading something, I may be delivering a message, but I'm not delivering it as my own. I didn't come up with any of these facts. I wasn't in the weeds. I'm not a epidemiologist, a virologist. I'm not any of those things. I'm just someone who's interested in certain topics. I like to read, and then I take other people's ideas and opinions and contemplate them and think about whether they're true or not, what feels true to me, and then I'll make my own beliefs off of that. I know it's a weird way of thinking, and the idea of even like doing your own research was vilified for a while, which is crazy. But I enjoy reading. I read studies about this. I've read books. I think Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s book about Fauci is incredible. It's also doesn't paint him in the right light. I haven't seen Dr. Fauci file a lawsuit yet. I know RFK Jr. personally. I know he researched and made sure that his comments and studies were peer reviewed by a number of different people so that you don't get sued. But it doesn't paint him in the best light. And yes, I believe that he had a financial incentive to not push ivermectin and HCQ and monoclonal antibodies and zinc and vitamin D and vitamin C, all stuff that was used all over the world. I'm talking about in Japan, in Brazil, in Mexico, in Uttar Pradesh, in India, a state that has 230 million people, and at one point had less than like 10 COVID cases active, when we were having thousands every single day. Like, look at Africa. The continent of Africa had very low numbers, and many people think that Africa, there's parts of it that are very third world, right? But what do? Most of them, the part of their routine is to take anti-malaria drugs. And when you get into a pandemic, this is, again, all I've read. I'm not a virologist. I'm not a doctor, right, in the sense. But I am interested, and I've read these things. And they take a lot of anti-malaria drugs over there because malaria is a problem in Africa. And anti-malaria drugs, repurposed in the repurposed nature of them, have been seen to stop viral replication and actually do well against COVID. But if that were the case, then these billion-dollar vaccines, one of which in particular Dr. Fauci had a significant financial stake in, wouldn't have been cleared for EUA. And they would have been able to be pushed out. They would have to go through the normal process of vaccines, which is multi-year studies.
Okay.
Of efficacy, to develop a safety profile. That didn't happen. So that's my problem. I don't know why more people aren't upset with that. Everybody who lost people to COVID, everybody who dealt with the draconian measures, and that's my last point, then I just want to fucking move on. But it's like, people are always like, why are you still talking about COVID? Like, why don't you just move on? It's ridiculous. I'm like, well, let's see what happened. They locked everybody up forever. It was supposed to be a couple weeks, right? They locked everybody up. Hundreds of thousands of businesses closed and never opened again. Dozens of people that I know in their 30s, who poured everything into these small businesses and restaurants and bars and never opened again. So they lost everything. They're out on their ass, right? The wealth gap got even bigger from the haves and have-nots. They lied to us over and over. They vilified early treatments. They censored legitimate doctors in the space, like Dr. Peter McCullough, like Dr. Corey, like Dr. Robert Malone, who allegedly was there in the beginning of the mRNA technology, and so many more people than that. The Alex Berensons of the world, the Weinsteins of the world, who were like writing about this, talking about this.
Not hard.
Brett Weinstein.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I knew that. I was about to check you.
And
had
an informed opinion about this. I mean, they were arresting people who were surfing in California. They closed the beaches. When I don't know what percentage, but probably 60% or more of the country is vitamin D deficient. And vitamin D, does well against the common cold, as does vitamin C. What? As does zinc, as does the number of home remedies that we all have. But no, stay inside, wait for this vaccine, which is 100% safe and effective, which they told us. So my whole point is, listen, they lied to us many times over. They locked us up. They closed our businesses. They increased the mental health issues exponentially. The rates of suicide went way up. And they're just like, they vilified us. The draconian things that, the ridiculous shut down. We lost billions of dollars. There's no NFL owners who are mad about this now that we look back and go, oh, well, maybe we could have stopped this with a little like early treatments, or like not given remdesivir and a ventilator to these patients. Maybe like treat it like the common cold, where you have symptoms and you start doing something about it. You treat it. And I have a problem with that because now people are just like, oh, just move on, just brush it under the rug. It's like, well, I have many apologies, not by that guy in ABC, and not by any of these people who are still, I mean, the LA County, we just put mask mandates back in.
Oh, buddy.
I mean, how many studies have we seen now from all over the world that show the lack of efficacy of masks?
Hey, real quick.
What are we talking about?
Real quick, your usage of efficacy today has really showcased your intelligence. I want to let you know that. You've used it in a phenomenal fashion. I assume you did it because you have become the paragon of conspiracy theories from all these people. And
I feel like my intelligence has been attacked, and I might need to grab my my transcript that I used to get into junior college.
Well, you had two
So that
A's
I
on that
actually
in
did
your name,
okay
Aaron.
on
I thought that was pretty clever, actually. I will say. And I did check you there, which obviously seems like you have a little bit more research than maybe any other human that exists outside of the potential doctors that you were there.
There's way more people who are well read, and I read their stuff. But one of my favorite things, and I'll end with this, and I promise I don't want
No, there's one more thing I have to.
Okay, well then let me get this in. Like, people are always like, you're not a doctor, you're not a virologist, you're not an epidemiologist. I'm like, I'm not. But you know what all those people would say? Natural infection and recovery gives you way more robust, long-lasting, sometimes for life, immune response than any vaccine will ever give you.
All right. Well, I appreciate the bars there at the end from the virologists and the doctors. I thought you were going to say neither are you, the people that are telling you that you're wrong. That's always a fun little give and take. And I assume there's going to be a lot of reaction to what you just said there. Drop the word draconian in there a few times. That felt like it was big. I assume people are going to respond to that.
Well, honestly, fact check it. I'm fine. Let's have a debate. You want to have a debate about it? Awesome. Not on this show, but let's have a conversation. There should be more conversation. Why are we just moving on from all this stuff when, can we look back now and learn from this so the next time there's a situation like this, we can go, okay, maybe there's early treatments that work. Maybe we don't just run a vaccine through that isn't safe and effective. And then how many boosters? I just saw they're encouraging the elderly to get an 8th booster.
Howard Stern got COVID too. Howard Stern got COVID. Which
it didn't stop transmission at all. It didn't stop you from getting COVID.
All right. Well, I appreciate your stance, especially
But
because
fact check me one more time, and then let's move on.
All right, sounds good. Then we got football to talk about because there's a lot of things happened. Vrabel just got fired.
Oh, yeah.
And Vrabel's pumped that we just brought that up in the middle of this conversation. But the reason why you feel the way you feel is because everything that you've been through this entire thing. You were chastised pretty heavily, which I assume made you invest a lot more time in it to kind of not only clear your name, but feel a little bit sense of self whenever everybody was telling you you're the worst human on earth. And there's going to be people that disagree with you. And I think this conversation and this show is actually a great place to go ahead.
I was vilified. My character was attacked. My reputation was attacked. My sponsors were attacked. I received death threats. So yeah, I mean, why does it mean a lot to me? Because I went through that and survived the winter of death. So continue.
Well, congratulations. AJ is also a COVID survivor on the other side of the screen there, which we are incredibly proud of him. I believe I survived a few times as well. When it comes to Jimmy Kimmel, and you read your quote, and I think in the moment I even explained, hey, Jimmy did this, did that. It immediately got taken by everybody seemingly. And now, once again, you are a human that goes off the grid in 2024. I don't think a lot of people really understand that. You actually went into a dark hole for 4 days. I mean, that is something that happens. He does just read books, and he's impossible to get a hold of. You can ask some people. So the way that whole thing went with you saying, Jimmy Kimmel doesn't want to see that list. And I think people that maybe have watched the show a lot recalled the moment between you and Kimmel whenever he said, okay, buddy. And then you saying you want to see. It was insinuated, though, that you called him a pedophile by everybody quickly. So I think you could, and you've acknowledged this, Jimmy Kimmel has been called a pedophile, I think, by a lot of people because his name has been on one of those lists on the internet for a long time. So I think you stoking the flame a little bit there made the entire world continue to turn up on him. I think that's why he got so bummed out by it all.
And that sucks. And I condemn that 100%. That's ridiculous. Any type of name calling, that's ridiculous. And I'm not calling him one, and neither should you. So it's not backing me up or making me feel good if you're doing that. Let me make that crystal clear. I don't take any fucking excitement or joy out of anybody doing that.
Give it two.
So don't do that in my name. Don't do that at all. Those are serious accusations meant for people who are on the list And again, there was some names that came out recently from a deposition from 2005, but there's still flight logs. There's still a lot of other things that are going to come out. And this corruption goes deep, I believe, and most people that probably looked at it believe that it goes deep. But I'm not calling him one. No one should. Don't do it in my name. Like, that's not cool. I'm not about that. And I have no love for anybody doing any of that shit.
All right, Jimmy. Come on.
Get in here.
Team on me. Come on, Aaron.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Hey, we're moving on. I do believe, Aaron, that everything you do in your mind, you feel has the best intentions from your truth and from what you've experienced and from your research. Every once in a while, when we're in here talking, some things can be taken sideways, out of context, start narratives and stories that none of us necessarily love or believe in. Thank you for clearing it up. And Jimmy, hey, man, pumped that you're not on that list.
Yeah.
Pumped about it. Because obviously we've all been Jimmy Kimmel fans since way back. Way back. Team on three. 1, 2, 3.
Team.
You're not a fan of them?
What was that?
The white
What was that,
guys,
dude?
everybody-
What's that about?
Yeah,
That's the problem. That's the problem.
You were talking in the huddle there, right?
Yeah.
You know, I didn't.
On the outside.
I was that guy. Sorry.
Yeah, we heard you.
Sorry about it.
We know.
Why don't you like it?
Anyways, let's move along. I'm excited to hear if this is over now and we move along because it was on Today's Show this morning.
Nice.
Today's Show was like, Aaron's going to answer this afternoon. Stay tuned. It was like, all right, great to be a part of this.
How many of those people actually watched the clip, and how many people just saw a headline? I don't think Mike Foss watched the clip. I don't know who that is, but I'm like, Mike, I don't work for you, Mike.
I think you told. I don't know if maybe
What
it's
part of
how
this
I
quote
heard.
did you not like, Aaron? Which part of it did you not enjoy?
AJ.
Made a dumb and factually incorrect joke.
You thought it was a pretty smart, good one.
I mean, I feel like I made a statement about, not wanting to be on a list to come out, but
it was a callback.
It should never have happened.
Callback. You thought to February.
We all realized that in the moment. What are you talking about? Let's move on, man. Come on.
All right, we would like to let you know, excited for you to meet Foss in person someday.
So pumped.
Foss right now is sitting on an airplane watching this. Just
my probably took all his clothes off.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh, he's sweating. I assume.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You wait till you meet Foss. This will all make a lot more sense once you meet Foss, I think. But I'm happy we're moving on. Let's talk about sports now. Aaron, this past weekend, New England Patriots, obviously in the middle of a snowstorm, you're playing there. A lot of the pictures that come out from that game, and the conversation is obviously, is this Bill Belichick's last time coaching the New England Patriots? Had a sweet ski mask on.
So cool.
Only saw his eyes. Saw the hoodie up over top. There was photos that were taking place of you guys chatting before the game started for like 20 minutes. And after the game, he beelines to who? Aaron Rodgers. Hug, embrace, and then he goes right to the locker room. You head the other way. Now, the whole world is wondering what's going to take place in New England. Obviously, there's been mixed reports. Now, Vrabel's been fired from the Tennessee Titans. Connor's celebrating him coming back to New England if Bill was to leave. What were you guys chatting about, and how long have you and Bill kind of been close in Titan this entire thing?
I think I first met Bill at the Pebble Beach Pro-Am over a decade ago. Probably it was either 2010 or 11. And I always had great respect for him. And he said some really nice things that day. I didn't honestly think he knew much about me. But and then didn't get to play him in 2010. Played him in 2014. Had some, a nice moment after the game with him. And same thing in 18 and 22. We always kind of found each other at some point. So I was bummed out not to be playing. Bummed out, that this could be the last time he's in New England. But none of that came up. We actually talked about a snow game in 2019 at MetLife when the Packers played the Giants. And I just think it'd be so fun to have a glass of scotch with Bill and talk ball because his knowledge of the game, his ability to recall things, he was recalling these two specific plays that we had from the game, and obviously I can do that. I've made those plays, but Bill was on the sidelines, and he's talking about these plays he saw on film and different things, and I don't know. I love his knowledge of the game. I have a ton of respect for him. I don't think he's done. I don't know if he's going to move on or if their time is done there in New England, but I think the NFL is better with him in it, and I'm thankful for all the little moments I've got to share with Bill over the years, and just tell him how much I respect him and believe what a great impact he's made on the game.
How come everybody that plays football or is around football feels the same way about Bill Belichick, and then you'll hear like some media and fans members say the complete opposite? Like, why do you think football people, and it's kind of similar with you, like basically every player, not just in the NFL, but most professional athletes are like,
yes,
Aaron Rodgers is the guy. So like your perception maybe by some media members and by some fans is normally vastly different from every professional athlete and every football player. Why do you think the same thing is for Bill Belichick? Because I'll say for me, for how long he was dominant and how much he's committed to the game, it's impossible not to respect that. But you as a guy, first ballot Hall of Famer, why does everybody like it that's in your level feel the same way about Bill Belichick?
I think because you realize how difficult it is to have sustained success in the league, and that if anybody's ever played against him, especially on the offensive side of the ball, you know what a great strategist he is, and how, we were talking about the 2014 game, right, pregame, and we were laughing because their strategy was so incredible. And I never kind of seen a defense be able to do that and adjust, where you put your number one corner on a number one receiver, put your number two corner in a safety, you put your number two corner in a safety on our number one, you put your number two on your number one corner on our number two, and then you put your number three on our number three, right? And then he's like, man, this guy from Fresno State has this crazy breakout game. Just his recall. That was, 9.5 years ago, 9 3/4 years ago. He's talking about what Devante Adams was doing and the plays that he caught and the fact that they had to adjust and different things. And I'd never seen a guy be able to do that. But once you play a long time in this league, that these games are won between Monday and Saturday. Right, Sunday is just the icing on the cake. That's the time you play and go execute what you've been working on. But the true masters can win Monday to Saturday, and he's one of those guys he's found little advantages over the years that have he's been able to utilize. He can adjust on the fly. He can adjust in the first quarters, at halftime, third quarter, and he's been a savant ahead of the game for so long that. I think everybody who's played a long time just has a ton of respect for him.
Everybody that plays for him, too, says his personality is fantastic. Doesn't get talked about as much because of what he does to the press conferences and the media. And then he comes on game day and he puts a helmet on. Awesome. So it was like, I love this guy. How many games is he away from breaking the all-time record?
15 wins away.
So they're saying he's going to go get that, obviously. Will it be with New England? We shall see. You brought up a good point there about Fresno State, a legend. Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, and you brought up Devante. I saw this week Garrett Wilson is switching from 17 to his college number of 5. A lot of people are speculating that's because Devante is coming to the Jets. Can you confirm that?
Ooh. We're going to check you, too, if you're wrong.
Breaking.
I can confirm you dropped that microphone last night and tried to play it off.
I got cocky.
I will say, though, you really tried to play it off cool. And you would have got there if it hadn't been for one of your cohorts there.
Whoa.
He was so excited.
I was not excited. I was shook to my core. I didn't think that was even a possibility.
That's our thing, Tone.
Yeah, it is.
We were practicing walking up the sideline.
Mistakes happen. Am I human or am I not?
Well, we don't know. Well, let's not even bring that up.
Yeah.
We've already done. Don't get into it. We don't need to hear it. I don't have enough information at this point. But the Devante Adams conversation to the Jets is obviously a big one since you got there. But now Devante Adams has become one of the pillars of the Raiders alongside Max Crosby and what they have cooking with Antonio Pierce, who we assume will remain the entire role. With what the team was last year and what we got to witness the team be without you there, they assume the Jets are going to make moves to kind of up that team if we do want to go all in. Devante's name's always floated. I assume that you've always just been like, if you guys could get Devante, I would love to have Devante. But how much of those conversations are actually taking place, especially around now?
None right now. Absolutely none. There's a lot of time. I think first part is to let the emotion get out of it and get away. Everybody involved, from Woody and Christopher to Joe to Robert to all the players. Just kind of let the emotion out of it. And get away from it. But yeah, obviously, creating a championship team is the goal for Joe, and obviously that's what he wants. And me coming back is obviously a big part of that. But you need the players around you. Devante is a fantastic player. He also plays for the Raiders, so it's not a lot I can say there other than he's a dear friend and homie. And if I do end up making it out to Vegas, I want to see that golf game because he's been working hard, and I think that's one of the things he loves about being in Vegas. Besides AP and Max and some of the guys he really likes over there, Josh Jacobs, he loves the fact he can play golf whenever he wants, and that dude is obsessive about it. And he didn't embarrass himself at Tahoe, and now he wants top 50. So hopefully I can get out there and see him. Love me some Devante. G-Dub's been talking about going to 5 the entire time, so it's a nice coincidence. And as much as I believe there's not many coincidences in life, this one at this point is merely.
What's that mean?
A coincidence.
What do you mean?
What do you mean no coincidence? Someone's controlling you? What? You're being controlled, right?
Matrix?
Simulation?
Fauci. Is that what's happening?
No, I'm not being controlled, obviously, which doesn't make a lot of people happy.
Possible.
Well, it does make some conversations interesting, for sure.
You ever get exhausted? You ever get tired fighting all these fights?
I don't feel like I'm fighting these fights. I think it's the same. It's a playbook, right? And the playbook is
here we go. Thanks, AJ.
Censor, silence, name call.
What?
And it's the same people. If you look at whether their profile on X or just their social media stuff, it's the same type of person, right? That probably has been jabbed multiple times, might be wearing a mask while they're driving. I will say there's a lot of bums out there. A lot of bums.
Yep.
A lot of bums.
This was about the time last week, too. Just when we were trying to, we're in here just kind of wheeling, dealing.
Make it their mission. They make it their mission to try and take me down, but it hadn't worked yet. I don't lose sleep over this. I'm not up at night thinking oh shit, what am I gonna do? These people don't like me. I wouldn't ask these people for advice, so I don't really care what they think about me. I'm not trying to make friends. Most of them showed their true colors during COVID by turning on me, slandering me, all those different things that they did. Haven't seen any retraction, any apology as the vaccines get less and less effective on and blah, 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 blah. I've talked about all this shit over and over and over.
Yeah, thank you, AJ.
But this is the media. Many of them are just a blip on the radar of the history of the NFL. They probably intrinsically know that and know that there's not much that they say or do that's ever going to matter when they write the history of the NFL. And unless they say something inflammatory about me, nobody's really watching their shows anyway. So, and that's the other part of it, is the people are insanely jealous of this show because you guys have changed the way that they do media, and that's why there's the Norbies of the world and the slanderers of the world who. And this is me talking. We know.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to be. Nobody's clamoring to be on those other shows. It's just the truth. Nobody's clamoring to be on the other shows. The other shows don't have. They can't go first ballot Hall of Famer, greatest college coach of all time on back-to-back days. They just can't. They're celebrating where they can get somebody who goes on one of those shows to pitch something. That they're working on. This show gets the best of the best, and it does a different way with positivity, not just one person attacking one side and one person attacking the other side. And let's go back and forth and say the craziest shit ever. And listen, I respect the opinions of actually some of those people on some of those shows. Two of those people who are on your network, actually kind of respect some of the stuff they do. And there was a recent interview that kind of reinforced that as well. But this is the new way. A lot of people are trying to do it, and obviously they're jealous of it. The old guard is not having it, so they want to slander you because you're giving me, this dangerous spreader of misinformation, a platform on your show. So I hope you guys don't take it personally. I hope the upper ups know that this is that people actually have a little more affinity for ESPN now because the Pat McAfee show is on, and because of you boys and everybody that works on the show. Because if it's gone, we're all gone.
Well,
the people who are over here watching this show, they're gonna be fucking watching it back on YouTube.
Three. You snuck a couple through earlier.
Fauci's going to apologize?
All right. AJ. But Aaron, thank you for your kind words.
So.
Right? All right.
I don't think so.
Don't hold your breath.
All right. Well,
I don't. Yeah.
Remember that used to be a thing to find out if you had COVID or not. Remember, hold your breath.
Oh yeah,
Remember
big
that?
time.
If you cough.
10 seconds.
If you cough.
Funny you say that. That's good. Hey, it's a good check. Good research right there.
Yep.
Aaron, thank you for everything you said. And I assumed at some point you were going to feel obligated to go to bat for us because that's literally how you.
I don't feel obligated. It's the opportunity. It's an opportunity because obviously I know you guys personally and been on the show for a number of years now. Part of that was COVID MVP years, which I'm thankful for the platform to do this because we had some crazy conversations. Obviously, we had a ton of people when I made my decision that
top 10 stream in the history of the internet. By the way,
created.
that particular thing.
And people, there's some jealousy in the world that's ugly. But I'm thankful for you guys, and I hope you guys are laughing as I do when all the critics are taking these shots at you, at me, AJ for not saying anything.
Mm-hmm. Well, he says a lot. That's the thing. That anytime somebody says, "What does this guy do?" It's like you're not paying attention.
Yeah, just watch.
Yeah.
Listen
to him the last 10 minutes. You just so if we could go back to the first 10 minutes of this conversation that we said we weren't going to continue to do. AJ,
one of my favorite things is going back and looking to see who's cutting the clips. Is that
Gump?
Who's cutting the clips for? Is that guess Gumpy? I can't wait to see what Gumpy cut for this.
Well, hey, so Gumpy. That's like a lot of pressure. He's currently sitting in for Zito. And hey, Zito, baby.
Hey, baby Z.
Happy Zito, baby. Congrats, Zito. Gumpy's the one.
Congrats, Zito.
Hell yeah. He's going to love hearing that. Gumpy's the one that has to watch a clip in real time and be like, do we have to add context to this? What do we do here? Did not put the Friday one out. That was on the internet. The other people did hear that, though. For yours last week, there's been a couple maybe that have kind of gone, but boy, when other people, that's when the internet starts doing its thing. Because you set the tone with the words, Like I think I saw Elon Musk said that video views are up like 100x or something like that. And he's going to say that right now as he's trying to build up his company back to being worth something. But a lot of those videos, if they're longer than 15 seconds, people aren't watching that entire thing. They're banking on whatever is being said in the tweet or in the post.
So it's got to be as inflammatory as possible. That's what ESPN.com has done forever. You had 8 words to do a headline.
Just them? Just ESPN.com.
Well, no, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, ESPN is the sports leader. Like, nobody's really watching shows on other networks. Like, it's ESPN.
Well, we found that out when something very terrible was said right in the middle of one of those episodes. And then just the next day, show was still good. Nobody said a single thing.
What happened? No one cared.
It's like, well, there's nobody watching that show, apparently.
He's the man.
But it's the truth. They're watching it. They're watching on this network.
Could you imagine if we did that?
Are you kidding me? Right now? Could you imagine?
Good night, nurse.
Anyways, we appreciate your compliments. You're the man. Let's get back to some sports talk here. Ty has a question.
Come on.
Well, we only have 1 minute anyway, still hard out. So if Ty was to ask you the question, we get cut off in the middle of it.
Yeah, Aaron, I'll just say you were right. Obviously, shouldn't have been worried about the Packers at all. They do what they do. They beat the Bears. I believe there was a report, though, that said you either texted Jordan Love before the game or after the game. Just curious, how impressed are you with his maturation and just like how incredible he's looked down the stretch here with the youngest offense in the NFL? Because I tell you what, I'm having a good week so far.
Well, where's all the criticism? It's a little quiet.
Oh.
A little bit quiet, isn't it? A lot of shit talking was going on. A little quiet now. So I don't know if he used any of that for motivation. It's always fun to quiet those people, though. Proud of him. You know, he's a great kid, and he's had a nice season. And a lot of people were piling on at 6-8, weren't they?
Oh yeah.
Maybe even you too, Ty. Maybe even you too.
Not him. Defense for sure. I've been saying for quite some time.
Please, I had my sights on Joe Barry, not Jordan.
Yeah.
Is what Ty just said.
Exactly.
Please, but he's back.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Touche.
Back checked.
Boom.
But,
Gotcha, Aaron. Gotcha.
I text him before the game. I think that's 10 in a row now.
Yep.
So, the thing, I'm a little disappointed about. I thought that based on tiebreakers, Packers win would mean Bears are third in the division, which means the NYJ comes out to Soldier Field. So we're going to US Bank instead. But yeah, I mean that was pretty masterclass performance by Jordan. I think he had only 6 or 7 incompletions, 5 or 6 incompletions.
Yeah. Yep.
Jeez.
Yeah, he played great. Took care of the football, made a lot of plays, and now they're in the playoffs. There's some great storylines in the playoffs, aren't there? You know, with Matt going back to Detroit and and Green Bay going against Big Mike in Dallas. What else do we got as far as those kind of things go? There's some other things like
Jimmy Kimmel, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, they're playing.
That one's pretty good ones going on.
Monday night. Yeah, the Monday night thing though. I don't know if I'm a big fan of that.
What's that?
I get it for ratings, but having a Monday night game and then having that team turn around, unless they're guaranteed to play on Sunday, that seems like maybe a slightly disadvantage.
I don't know if they can give them Saturday after Monday night. I would assume they're not.
Last year was Bucks Cowboys, and they played on Sunday. The Cowboys did after they beat the Bucks.
I would assume that they're not allowed to give them Saturday.
Okay.
You would assume or hope so, at least. The NFL would do something, right? But there is, Super
there's
Wild
some
Card
great stories.
Weekend, Aaron. Super Wild Card Weekend has been phenomenal. It's just like perfect lineup each day. If one of the games gets bad, obviously that kind of gets absurd. But like, think about Joey Flacco back in this entire thing. There's a lot of great stories, Aaron, to your point.
Mace.
Yeah, I mean, keep that up there. Like C.J. Stroud, the season that he's had is phenomenal. Joe coming from the couch to leading his team. That's kind of a pick 'em. Who's the favorite in that one? Oh, it is Browns are favorite in that one. You got Miami and the struggles that they've had against Kansas City has been up and down. They rested most of the guys last week. You have Mason Rudolph coming off the bench to win, 3 straight there against Josh, and they've won 5 straight, and they look amazing. You got 2 teams that kind of been struggling a little bit, at least the last couple weeks in Tampa and Philly, who are, veteran-laden teams, guys who won a lot of football. So it's fun. I mean, it'll be exciting to see what happens. You got the 2 best teams in the league waiting for one of the low seeds, but there's a lot of games that might not be as far apart as some of these spreads. It seems like, especially that bottom left, I think it's going to be a really interesting game.
Yeah, 7.5, more than a ton. Not a lot of respect.
Love it.
Big Mike though.
Big Mike. Tough at
Yeah,
home.
Jerry World has been a real problem. I know you've gone in there and had some success, and also you've been in there where great performances have been done at halftime, obviously, with bald-headed baby-looking adults flying around.
Yeah.
We all can remember that entire thing.
Old stadium.
That was the old stadium, I think. That was the old stadium.
Oh, you're old, bro. Think about that.
Yeah.
Still playing.
A long time.
Speaking of you being old, Connor has a question for you, Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron, and what kind of C word would I be if I didn't also bring up, if you haven't heard the Cat Williams interview, and I think you were referencing that earlier, Ice Cube also came out right after it, did a nice 9-minute video just to sum it up. Ice Cube was basically just like, yeah, it's fucking true. But aside from the point.
Well, Ludacris responded with a diss.
Bars, yeah. Ludacris dropped bars. You have to respect the bars, but Ice Cube also, you got to also respect what Ice Cube says. And I'm not going against Ice Cube. I'm just going to put that out there.
Well, there's like 40 other people, too, that from that particular one. And by the way, I was the Cat Williams generation.
Oh, yeah. Big time reader, too. Cat Williams, 3,000 books a year, he said. It's like A 7-year-old.
Yeah, very smart person.
It's pretty good. Those are Wilt Chamberlain numbers.
Yeah, very smart person. But you know, when you're saying stuff to Aaron's point, sometimes he gets disheveled. You had a press conference yesterday, Aaron, and you know you talked about how coming into this year it was awesome. You weren't sure how long it was going to be, and then you fell in love with the team and the place and everything, and then you kind of knew it was going to be a multi-year thing. And then you said again yesterday, you know, you got to kind of come back and reprove yourself. Is this kind of Are we about to enter into scorched earth, Aaron Rodgers? Because it does feel like that, and as a Patriots fan, it makes me extremely nervous. And also, is this going to be, a 2-year thing for sure? Because from what it seems like, especially from hearing you talk, which has been incredible all season, by the way, and all those people who are sending your death threats, again, bunker mentality. Fuck them all. Fuck them all. But aside the point again, Jets, how are we feeling going into next season? Is the rehab kind of, going to slow down because you have more time now? And last thing, I got a mustache comb. It has changed my fucking life. So think about grabbing one. It just feels great when you run it through the stash, just so you know.
That's a lot, Connor. Thank you. I always look forward to what you're going to wear on either the multicast or the daily stuff. So
same thing, actually.
Yeah, I smell
I feel like that guy last night, the cheerleader guy, didn't look around him when he said this is America's mullet.
Dylan.
Yeah, that was quite
shout out to him, and Michigan for winning. They looked great last night, especially the run game was dominant. But he didn't look around him and see that old con man was there with America's mullet.
He was intoxicated by the national champion.
His moment. His moment. He had the sideburns too. I had to respect
it. Was his moment. Yeah, it was his moment. I get it.
Those guys were basing all night.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they were.
Talk about.
I heard two ladies each guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
3 guys, 6 girls.
Yep.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Shoulders. Routine.
Doing a lot of Arnold press. Huh?
Yeah.
A lot of Arnold.
Yeah. Bingo.
Shout out to Arnold. I wonder if he's going to come on our show ever again.
I think so.
I think he will. Arnold's the man.
All right.
Go.
I haven't seen him on any other shows, but maybe he's been on those.
He's been doing some. Him and his donkey did the Monday Manning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, he did the Manning cast. Yeah. Those guys are awesome.
Agreed. Yeah.
Jets, 2 or 3 years, I think. 2 or 3 years. I'm going to see how I feel. But I said yesterday, I said something, and headlines are headlines. And if you say one thing and you see them all write something down, you're like, shit. I said it to my media guy afterwards. I was like, well, I know what the headline's going to be. I said something about being the hot seat, right? And it's true, though. We're on the hot seat every year. If you don't look at your job like that, I don't know what we're doing. But every year you got to prove yourself again. Whether you're the quarterback or any position or the coach, you go out and prove that you are, a valued asset, that you can get the job done, and you still got it, then you're going to be around. So that's how I've always looked at it. Obviously, it's a little different when you're under contract, maybe first year, second year as a rookie, or first or second year of a major deal. But everything for me is a 1 year. I go out, ball out. We make a run, have a chance. They'll probably want me back if I can prove I can still move around. If I don't, it's probably going to be it. I'd like to be here for a few more years. I like it here. I really do. I really have a good relationship with both Woody and Christopher and Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh. I enjoy the staff here. I enjoy the guys a lot. It's a good group of men and women that work here at the organization. Incredible fan base that's hungry. And it's been a tough year. I feel like it's been a lost year. But every time I talk, it's going to get reaction. I get it. I understand it. And yeah, we're all on the hot seat. Like we got to win. Every year you got to win. And it's over scrutinized because we're in New York. But we know that. Don't shy away from it. It's part of it.
Okay, so whenever you talk about that multiple year thing, obviously that's a lot different than what a lot of people thought going in. And with how the first year ends up going, Jets fans gave up hope, I think, on the whole dream for a bit. Now they're back in on it. Michael Lombardi said it was like ineptitude of the Jets to basically say, well, we lost Aaron. So that puts a lot of pressure on you. Like for next year, if it doesn't go, let's say early, there's a little bit of some growing pains that could potentially take place because you didn't get to have them this past year. it's going to get real out, mostly on you, though. But you've earned that, I guess. And are you expecting that and understand that that's kind of going to be the scenario?
Yeah, I'll take it. I'm ready for it. Like, I understand. It's part of the job description. Like, and our media is fantastic here. They cover the team, all facets of it. They ask tough questions. So I enjoy those times. I understand what's coming. And same thing last year. Would have been the same thing had I started, played well, and we'd, gone down to Dallas and gotten our ass whooped and like, oh, well, hold your horses. It might not be a great team. And, if we'd kind of started off 1-3, they would have been killing me like they were killing everybody else. So probably a little more. But yeah, it's part of it, part of the job. I get it. I look forward to it. Look forward to those interactions, and I'll be ready for everything that comes with it. Excited about getting back here in a few months and getting the off season going. Excited about taking a little break first and foremost. We'll see if this whole thing dies down. It never really, the COVID part never really dies down, but the other stuff, and then we'll just try and enjoy our off season a little bit more.
On that note, AJ Hawk has a question. Great.
No, I'm not. Nothing about COVID, none of that. I'm just curious, when you went into that, your darkness retreat that got so much play, how close were you, if you look back at it now? You said you went in expecting like 90% retirement, I think you said back in the day. I don't want to misquote you. We know how you don't like that. But when you look back, what's the chance? What did
certainly over the last week, hasn't it?
Quite a few.
How close were you, though? Were you legit going to quit? Because when you retire, I should say, when you say 2 to 3 years, I can't imagine you ever really taking your brain to the spot where you're not playing football.
I think that was not the case prior to the contemplation that I was considering walking away and doing it right away. But and I said it yesterday, I felt like it was going to be a 1-year thing, and then I got out here, and I kind of fell back in love with the game and the process and the practice and the locker room and just everything that comes with it. And so,
hey, you remember those OTAs? There was slow motion shots.
Yeah. So sick.
It was like, this guy's throwing the first time in front of all these people. These people are seeing Aaron Rodgers throw a football for the first time. You knew that. Like, even as a guy who's a first ballot Hall of Famer, you got people watching on the sideline. There's a little thing in the back of a lot of you humans up there like, welcome to the motherfucking show, buddy. Like, was that a part of it? That's a whole thing, right?
Of course.
Yeah, I imagine, yeah.
When you take the field for practice, like, there's people, it's the same thing for games. Like, I feel that in games, too. It's like, prepare to be impressed. It's like, are you not entertained? Like, watch this. I mean, because, and I think I took this from Michael Jordan or somebody, but I feel like some elite athlete once said, maybe it's Kobe, like, there's somebody in the arena that's never seen me play tonight. Like, and I'm like, there's somebody here that's never seen me practice. It's never seen me throw a ball before. It's never seen me play. Like, that motivates me. That's like, that inspires me. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna put on a show. So, yeah, like, I've had so much fun falling back in love with the game, and so that's, I think, why it was even more heartbreaking going down so quick. But I don't think it's going to be 1 more year. I think it's going to be a few more years. So saying 2 to 3 feels like the truth. I don't think 1. It's not 1. So it's 2 or more. That's why I said 2 to 3.
Well, don't be giving exact numbers, because then they'll get you.
Yep.
This lion immunized sack of subs.
You got it again.
He said 2 to 3 years. He's played 4 years. This fucker never stops lying.
This guy.
Never.
Do they still not understand why I said immunized?
Dude, it just became like the.
Do they know that I was in an appeal process? Not to mention, like, I don't know what you would call it. If you go to a homeopathic doctor and you get taken through an immunization process, what do you say you are?
Well, I think what some people would say is that you're a conspiracy theorist. That's what people would say.
Well, lion, soft-brained,
concussion,
junior college transfer conspiracy theorist. But I'll tell you what, though, I was proud that Butte got a shout out because that was a special year for me. There's a lot of amazing people.
Of course.
Going to Butte College, whether it's the main campus in Warville there or the Chico Center. So shout out to Butte College, go Roadrunners. Shout out to Craig Rigsby, one of my all-time favorite coaches. Shout out to Jeff Jordan, my quarterback coach, offense coordinator. We had some great times there. Thanks for letting me run BC check with me so much, which was basically 5 wide spread. Check to either QB draw, 92, 96, 99.
What?
Get down the road.
Well, shout out to Butte. I mean, that's good silver lining. They got a shout out last night.
Dude, go
That's
Pub.
good. Hey, way to go. Way to look at the glass half full. You know what I mean? Actually, with that particular case, you poured it out of the glass that was half full into a smaller glass all the way full.
Yeah.
Did give a shout out to Butte there in the middle of that entire thing.
Enrollment numbers.
And also with the type of human you are, I think that we've learned over the last couple of years of talking to you, feels like you're probably going to go get a doctorate at some point now, right? Because that was kind of held against you that you didn't graduate from. That seems like an Aaron Rodgers thing. Oh yeah, I've decided I'm going to become a fucking doctor. How come? Well, I was a dumb concussion-prone college dropout at one point, right? That is how you actually operate as a human.
Well, yes, and also, do we want to get into the college debate? I mean, I'm,
all right, okay.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been
a great book right now. It's called The Coddling of the American Mind, and it talks a lot about what's really going on college campuses these days. So the fact that I, only spent 5 actual semesters on a college, 2 of those being at a college that some people don't respect, even though community colleges are awesome ways for kids to start their career because it's low cost. Education in most places is fantastic, and a lot of places are really good at getting you to transfer somewhere. So I don't even want to get into what's going on in college campuses because it's that's just low-hanging fruit.
I had a lot of great teammates that were JUCO guys, and not only is it low cost, and if you get a degree, you showcase that you were able to just put in work for a certain amount of time, which is what I think college degrees are for a lot of things. We're not even going to get into charging an amount of money that they'll never be able to earn back, so you're constantly in debt forever. We're not going to do that.
It's the only debt that doesn't get erased through filing bankruptcy. That thing stays with you. Not just with you, but if you die, that goes on to that gets passed down. They're getting that money.
Now, you read that in a book. I did not read that stat. I'm supposed to check
that. That could, please fact check that. That could be false, but I believe that's the way that student loans work.
Checking.
We're checking.
Checking right now.
Checking right now. We're not going to let you get out of here until we get it.
No way.
Check it out, con man.
Didn't Biden forgive a bunch of college loan?
Yeah, I think it's still happening, but then they just started paying recently.
Yeah, in the forgiveness, if you will, there are a lot of checks that you got to get to. Okay, so they're not just forgiven for anything. You got to have a lot of different problems.
So they're saying we might forgive, but we don't forget. Yeah, is what they're saying.
Biden had a great think tank at UPenn, I think.
All right.
I think this is the problem with what you should kind of wrap this conversation.
I'm happy you're the one doing this.
Yeah. Well, I'm a great fact checker.
He seemed very happy about it.
Yeah, I love doing it. So one of them says,
all right,
if a borrower dies, their federal student loans are discharged after the required proof of death is submitted.
Oh, that's good. That seems fair.
However,
well, that's a big one.
Directly below it, there is no administrative discharge for private student loans if you die. Private loan debts will be handled the same way as other debts.
So it goes on to the next line of...
Yeah, the next one actually says if you weren't vaccinated, you have to pay your debts no matter what.
Forever.
Yeah, right after it.
Bag them and tag them while you're doing it.
Yeah. That's right.
All right. Well, we know that before I go one step further, the answers at the top of the Google are obviously verse the myth. I mean, there's hey, check him, they say. 2 people that are both qualified to give an answer on something will somehow have polar opposite answers in the same world that we live in right now. So whenever people are like upset, it's like, hey, I might not know the answer to go to the other side, but I can find somebody that is credible, smart, presents themselves as a human that has done the research, who will be just as passionate against you. And I think the reason why I was kind of bummed out about last Tuesday is because what it led to was just more people yelling and bickering at each other. And I think even though you are a man that has been chastised and had a lot of things thrown at you for the decisions that you've made and the way you've gone about living your life. I don't think you want to be in the middle of more motherfuckers yelling at each other either. I think all anybody wants, mostly you, is like open dialogue, conversation, and to be heard. And I think if we can all kind of do that as we move forward, we'll be in a much better spot. Because we're about to enter election season, and goddamn, if we could just talk to each other, that would make this all a lot better. But what's going to take place is I'm a better human than you are.
No, you're not. No, I'm a better human than you are. And I don't know if you know this, ESPN, that P changes this year.
To what?
Politics, baby. Let's go.
No, that's why you're a bad person.
No, I'm
because
not
of what you just said.
No, I'm not. What I'm
a better person than you are.
You're not. I just read facts off the internet. So
no, but your facts were leading to a way that you are. I'm a better person than you are. You're a bad person.
I've never done leading facts. I'm a better person than you are. Guess what? I actually rode in a carpool with Gumpy today because we wanted to save the environment because we don't want to waste gas.
Oh, guess what? I was also in there, very uncomfortable. Didn't have to be. I'm a better human than you are.
No, you're not a better human than I am because you drive an electric car, and those mines that they make those electric batteries in, children die every day.
Whoa, let's talk about the fucking ozone, though. I'm taking care of the entire world. You're welcome. They say global warming. I'm a better human than you are.
Oh, global warming? You mean that pish posh they made up to just get everybody into a frenzy? You mean that one?
Anyways, that's politics. A constant battle of who's a better human, who's standing for something better. Let's all assume that in the majority, we're all good people and we want to move forward. We appreciate you coming on today, Aaron, doing this entire thing, and let's keep this thing marching on, pal.
We covered a lot of ground, and who knows if we cleared anything up as far as the those people who are out there saying stuff. Most of them probably don't want things cleared up anyway. But listen, I think in general, I think you hit it on the head. Like, I'm not trying to spread any hate in this world, and I'm not asking anybody in my name to attack people. So I hope that point got across loud and clear, and I hope that all corruption and misdeeds that have been done in the name of harming people, whether it's kids or the common American, gets exposed, because that's going to make us a better country. Not fighting with each other about stupid shit like you guys just were, which is hilarious because, and also disheartening because that kind of shit is happening out there all the time.
Yeah.
So
I'm an observer. I don't know much about politics, but I do know that's what it is.
Yep.
Right there, in a nutshell.
I don't think this is going to change my opinion to those people at all. I don't care.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. Hell of a year, pal. We done good. Mustache was fantastic. Can't wait until next year.
Mm-hmm.
Two healthy Achilles.
Wide.
Spry knees.
Wide.
Arrested body and arm.
Wide.
Taking the field at MetLife on September 11th, 2024.
Woo! No, it's going to be a different day. It's got to be. We got to change that. That's not going to work. We got to change.
Fact check.
Are you superstitious? What are we?
I don't know what day of the week that is.
I think it's a Wednesday, right? 'Cause we're in
Wednesday
APL.
afternoon football. Do it, Raj.
Yeah.
We need to see it. You know what I mean? We need to do one of these right here. That was so cool.
We're gonna need San Fran to win, and us to play on a Wednesday. Or that's a Thursday, right? First game of the year. We're gonna need San Fran to win because we play in San Fran. They could choose us to start the season.
You going back to Northern California? We were at that dumbass school. That'd be big.
That'd be awesome. Last time they played there was pretty sweet too.
Oh yeah.
I believe that was a Mason Crosby game winner.
Yeah.
Dart to Devante over the middle over Fred Warner.
Mm-hmm.
Mason Crosby was back, by the way. Mason Crosby was back last 2 weeks of the season.
Hell yeah.
Congrats to him doing it.
Yeah.
All right, Aaron. Have an incredible offseason. We appreciate you, buddy.
See you soon.
Ooh, coming to the Dome.
Whoa, that's crazy, man. Make sure you're vaxxed before you get here. Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Rodgers. Hooga! Woo! All right, let's get to a break. I'm sure I cleared it up.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. It was awesome.
Over and done with.
People are happy.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait to
check them. Check the shit out. People are calling me like a hockey goon because how much I'm checking.
There's only like 400 comments on a tweet from like 10 minutes ago. It's pretty good.
Had a baby gumption.
They all listen to the clip too.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
Right
Check.
to the boards.
Boarding.
And then he got up, started skating again. And then.
Yep.
Hmm?
Mm-hmm. 5 minute.
You want some more?
I want Aaron to meet Foss so bad.
Dude, Foss was just sitting on a plane. Oh my God!
Grab that bag out from.
You got puke bag. Puke.
I need it. I need it.
I think he called him Mike Fiss yesterday.
Classic.
Classic AJ Hawk move.
Yep.
Have you told?
I got an email from Bruce or something. Mike Fiss, I believe.
It's Mick Fiss.
Foss, good guy, by the way.
He is.
He is.
By the way.
Aaron,
Yeah.
or AJ, have you told Aaron that you sometimes say hello to Foss and exchange pleasantries?
Yeah, he actually asked me. First off, sorry if I can't. You guys, I wish you could hear what the audio sounds like in my ears. It's like a robotic alien thing. I can't really make out what you're saying. It's been like that for the majority of the show. But I believe you asked me something about Aaron and Foss. But yeah, Aaron asked me who's Mike Foss, and I said actually he's a really good dude. Actually, he's great. He's with the show a lot, so I pumped Foss up.
That a boy.
Foss is new SVP over there at ESPN.
Oh yeah.
People kept saying that I attacked my boss. First of all, there's only 2 of those. Well, 3 of those. I apologize if you count.
The Lord and Savior.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
He's all of our boss.
You know?
The.
Yeah, you're right. But Foss is like the one who has to sit in there in Bristol at his desk. He's the point person for this program. So anything that happens here, all the people that don't necessarily enjoy us being at ESPN, they beeline right to his office.
Yep.
And he has to do a come on in. And
here's what they meant.
They explain why they are certainly pissed that we did whatever we did. And Foss has to just deflect and counter and intend what our intent was. And then they walk out the door. And then someone else comes right in. How come they get to? Well, you see, he negotiated that into his contract. That is how it goes. We didn't. Why are they allowed to say insert whatever?
Sure.
Well, that's how it goes. Foss puts his legs up. His shins get bashed.
Yep.
Then they walk out of the building. And then lo and behold, just wait.
Yeah.
There's more.
Yep. Looks out his office and sees a line of 50 people waiting out there just
pulling numbers.
And that's who Foss is. So I don't know if we're able to explain that completely to Aaron Rodgers while we're talking to him.
Nah.
But Foss was definitely going to have to say something at some point.
Yep.
And I think he might have been in a bevy of.
Big time.
Yeah.
Let's get to a break. We made it 2.5 hours, boys.
Yes, we did.
It did.
Nobody expected that out of us.
No chance.
I was trying to get Aaron to come on the first hour.
Yeah.
So we could rerun second hour.
Just run that Harbaugh DeBoer interview 8 times.
Journalism.
Yep.
Journalism.
Check it out.
Journalism. Actually, we're probably going to run that right now as a commercial break. So what are we going to do at the end of the show? Should this be it? It should be.
It's not getting better than.
Yeah. Honestly. Is it,
It's not getting better than Aaron.
Let me look.
What are we going to fucking do?
No. Oh, you see Dan Jones? You see Dan Jones?
I saw that at C. I saw that at C.
A guy asked
I did
a
a
question.
6-second clip. Saw that at C.
Guy asked, "Hey Dan, should we draft a quarterback in the first round?" Dan said, "I'm confident in myself.
I believe in my abilities."
That was it.
Lead with that.
Boom! I love that from DJ.
AJ, have you given your take on the national champion? Oh, I have some breaking news. There's a chance that a recently fired coach is watching a program.
Really?
Chance.
Like fired today."
Yeah, let's face them. Cold call.
Yep.
This is journalism, by the way.
By the way,
he was on a bye week. By the way,
he's got a.
Should we call AJ back?
Yeah, well, we called him back in the middle of that interview, by the way. People were like, why didn't AJ talk? Well, he wasn't even a part of the conversation.
Still can't hear us. He's just kind of sitting there like, yeah, this is fun.
AJ?
Vrabel's not going to answer, is he?
No.
Just got fired today.
All right. Right now?
What are these fucking assholes calling me for?
Got 12 lit cigarettes in his mouth right now.
Like out of that movie.
Yeah, Austin Powers.
He fucking takes. What do you want?
Mm-hmm. He's got 80 more beers to drink today.
No answer. AJ, Connor screamed in excitement when he read that the Titans fired Mike Vrabel.
Okay, I'm sorry. I heard you say my name. That's all I got. I can't hear. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah,
Okay.
all right.
All right, that'll be it. Hell of a college football year. Big thanks to Aaron for responding to Jimmy. I think
you ending the show. That's on me. My bad. I can't. I'm trying to figure this out. My bad.
By the way.
Hey, AJ, great show. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hall.
Hey,
AJ.
AJ.
AJ. That sucks.
Yeah, that's brutal.
He's on next to no sleep.
Yeah. I mean,
just.
Did you say my name?
I heard in there.
I heard you say my name. I didn't hear anything else.
Him just.
It's going to be great for the people that say he just sits there and says nothing.
Bro, we were past.
Oh, yeah.
AJ's like, I don't think I heard him address.
You ever get tired?
You get exhausted fighting all these wars? I don't think I'm fighting these wars. All right, let's get to a break until tomorrow. Hey, Bruce, you want to give a victory lap for Michigan? I posted on my story. Congrats to you on the Natty posing in front of the NRG Stadium. And, Bruce, a lot of people were saying, that guy's not a fucking Michigan fan. Oh. That's what a lot of people were saying. I would like to say throughout the entire season, this one much more than any other one that I've been around him, for sure. But when they were going through adversity, Bruce,
I was ready.
You were calling him Buckeye Pete Thamel before anybody else.
Yeah, defending the wall. Message board, Bruce.
I apologize to Pete Rabbit, by the way.
Oh, did you
I
apologize?
know I am right now. I have not fired this. This is the apology.
He just checked himself.
Or did you scream in his face?
I have
last
apologized to Pete Thamel. Actually, this is my apology. Thanks for checking yourself there, Bruce.
It was awesome, though. Unbelievable game. Just ran right down their throat, condensed the game down, took it all away.
Congrats on a natty, buddy.
There is something we can try for AJ if it is on our end.
We'll do it tomorrow, for sure.
Yep.
Can't have that happen again tomorrow.
No.
Tomorrow, we're a whole different program.
Have you seen the lineup for tomorrow?
Mm-mm.
It's unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. I caught some sounds of who's coming on tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
yeah.
good,
got
by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, some big ones, by the way.
I don't.
Maybe
We don't. I want to say it because every time we say it, it just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome. Is somebody cool?
Yeah. It's someone cool.
How about Aaron saying people are clamoring to come on the show? I don't know if that's accurate, Aaron.
I've never heard that.
We've sent out a couple burn calls to people this morning, and they said, I don't think so, by the way.
Yeah. Make our lives a lot easier, by the way.
If people were just clamoring.
Yeah.
By the way.
I'd love to come on the show, by the way.
That would be Dan Marino.
Yep. He was on a bye week, by the way. And then he obviously fumbles his words a little bit, and then live on CBS says, God damn it!
Jeez. Dan.
Uncle Dan.
Yep.
What a clip.
Dan.
All-time clip.
That clip is made. Dan Marino, you need to know, we've been watching your best hits in this office for the last month or so.
Yep.
You're an icon, buddy.
Send it.
No flubs. Fucking send it.
Nope. Don't want to listen to it.
Don't need to.
There was no fucking flub. No flub.
Fucking send it.
The guy immediately. Yeah, no flub. You're right. Yeah, you want to go one more time?
One more.
How about him and Ace Ventura, Pet Detective? Too?
Oh my God.
He's legendary Yinzer in the history of Yinzers. Obviously Italian, Hey. So Pittsburgh.
Got any more of that gum?
Mind your own business. You could have taken a percentage of that movie.
Next time.
I'll take $30,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This movie's going to fucking suck, by the way. Give me $30K.
All right. And now the Dolphins. Joe Baver.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Hard Knocks, again.
Tonight?
I don't want to say it.
Yeah.
But.
No, we made big signings today. We're back.
Who'd you get?
Justin Houston, Bruce Irving.
And Joe Bover coming.
Joe Bover is waiting patiently.
He's on the practice squad.
He's in the bullpen.
Hey, Bruce
waiting
Irvin's got
patiently.
juice, obviously.
Yep.
He was just with Seattle.
Lions.
He thanked the Lions.
He killed Derek Carr.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Former teammate of his. And Justin Houston did great things for us. What was that, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Baltimore?
Baltimore, too, yeah.
Yep.
Frank Clark's still out there, too. He got cut by the Seahawks.
Bring him in.
Okay, so Vrabel's the big news.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is.
Well, also, JJ might be going to the Steelers.
Yeah, Van Ginkel out for the season as well. Maybe up there.
We thought that, though, right? Didn't we? Wasn't that kind of the fear?
That's when we kind of knew it might be Joe Bover when Van Ginkel was done.
Andrew Van Ginkel. Hell of a year, dude. Sorry to hear about that. A lot of injuries to that Miami Dolphins team and inopportune times, but I trust McDaniel to figure something out. But also, they've been swinging in the wrong direction going into the playoffs. Hard Knocks in season has been covering it all. Don't love that that's potentially becoming a thing.
Yeah, a little bit of a curve.
You know, because when they followed the Colts first year, we were supposed to be, I mean, it's not like a question, are we making the playoffs? And then we lose the back-to-back weeks. Raiders, and then Clowntown, and then we're out of the playoffs and Hard Knocks is over. It's like that NFL Films crew works way too hard for it to become something that is like they curse teams. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, and then Cardinals next year. Yeah, head coach and GM gets fired. Yeah, after that in season.
Jeez. Uncle Dan's unhappy that's in the building.
No, he's done with Hard Knocks.
Cameron should be on a bye week.
By the way.
These cameras the fuck out of here, by the way. All right? I won't see him again.
What did you say? How many yards would he throw for in the modern NFL?
Ooh, 6,000. Easy.
He just had that quick release.
I think he threw for $5,000 and like 84 maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Absolute fucking howitzer.
With hilarious shoes on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Hysterical shoes.
Who kind of throws like it?
All right, well, it's been a lot of fun, and it's been an honor to cover the college football season and football thus far. We will continue into Super Wildcard Weekend, which is one of the greatest weekends of football there is.
Pumped.
Big thank you to the college football for having the season that they had. Congrats to Michigan once again.
Hell yeah.
Congrats to the Washington Huskies.
Yeah, great season.
Yeah.
Great season. I got a chance to sit down with both coaches day before the game, and people were saying I was an actual journalist in there. You could see the respect that they have for one another. And then whenever you see how relaxed Harbaugh is before that game, I think it's a pretty good indicator on how he felt about his squad in the matchup with the Huskies. He'd go on to win. Kalen DeBoer in his second year will probably be back soon, even though it is not easy to get to the top of the mountain, especially with injuries and everything that has to go your way, the ball, the bounce, everything. But what a fantastic showcase of college football as a whole these two teams were. And we'll be back tomorrow, man. Sorry for mailing it in. This is the first time, long time.
Damn near ever.
Potentially ever.
Yeah.
It's not since
10 hours yesterday.
That's a long day.
There was those shows where you had to leave and go places, and we would finish the last hour, and it was basically like there was no show on.
Not basically.
You guys were pretty good. I listened to you guys numerous times when I was in a car and plane.
Yeah.
You guys crushed it.
Yeah.
Tones Twisted Top 10.
Come on.
Yeah, those days.
We might need to bring that back tomorrow.
I just threw away the jacket.
I was going to say the Letterman jacket actually was thrown in the garbage.
For a new one coming in, maybe.
Yeah, could be.
What are you so negative about? You just threw your pen. By the way, was Aaron doing that? He was flipping a pen.
Yeah,
he was clicking
it.
I saw Dr. Disrespect was not happy with the white balance of Aaron's camera.
Oh, really? Doc?
Yeah, Dr. Disrespect said, watch you on Pat McAfee Show, Aaron. First of all, need to figure out the white balance. This is disgusting.
Classic Doc.
And then he said, we're about the same age. I can throw a football further than you.
Okay.
The best. Dr. Disrespect can spin it.
Yes, he can.
And he is 6'10".
Yeah.
Big
The
SOB.
big son of a bitch.
You don't really get that whenever you're watching him locked in, killing people in Call of Duty. He walks amongst regular civilians.
The norms.
You're fucking talking about a tire.
Yeah.
A pyre.
But
And he showcases that every single day.
Athlete.
He was watching. I don't know if he was judging or trying to learn, but he was certainly teaching in the middle of that. And he said Aaron needs to figure it the fuck out.
Always.
We all need to figure it out. As 2024 continues to roll on, and this year has started in an absolutely absurd way. Yesterday, we were doing our show in an empty NRG stadium, just hours before the national championship took place, from the college game day set, and you called a guy a button dick having drunk.
And was I wrong?
People checked the tape.
Yeah.
And there was no rebuttal.
I did not get
There was no
community
community notes.
No. Boom.
What Shefty said, he has gotten community notes before, and that was a goal, and we had to check him quickly and say, not for you, Schefter.
Yeah, that's...
For us, certainly something.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Whenever you just break fake news.
Well, I was duped and led astray.
Last night, you were about the same mindset that you were whenever you broke that news. And there was a couple different times I came up to you and said, got any insiders tonight? And you said, maybe.
They're always out there. They're always out
Especially in that lobby we were in.
Oh, yeah. And when you're...
Could you imagine breaking Harbaugh? is going to the NFL.
Yeah. It was something to think
With
about.
a picture of you and Thamel.
Yeah, when you're a stone's throw away from Pete Thamel, it's hard not to. I mean, this guy knows everything.
That was not Pete Thamel, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's a good point.
That was Slim Pete.
You're right.
Turns out Slim Pete, a la Slim Shady, has not seen the movie 8 Mile.
What?
So whenever Bruce, wearing a Michigan hat, comes and shoulder bumps his sternum,
yeah,
and it says, "Everybody in a 3-1-3." Pete can get a little bit uncomfortable.
Pete almost slept Bruce.
Smack him in the mouth.
I thought Pete potentially had, like, through this entire mission, because Bruce is wearing Michigan stuff.
Yeah.
And Pete is a human who understands what this year has been like for him, breaking news about Michigan. Once it didn't create the news.
No.
Just was breaking the news.
Doing his job.
And he's been in college football for 20 years, so he's done this before. But he was kind of on guard from some Michigan fans potentially acting. And Bruce, just 1:30 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh, Slim Pete's over there? That's an inside joke we're having on this side of the room. I'm sure.
It was kind of a dare. It was kind of a dare.
Oh, they talked me into it. It was just AAA.
It was a mistake. I do have some breaking news if you'd like. Connor Stallions was in Houston last night.
Connor Stallions.
Where was he?
He was post-game partying with some Michigan grads. I don't know if he was at the game.
Was he
but
with the
he was in
team or was he with the grads?
He was with the grads. He was with the alumnus.
I feel like he probably assumes that he was a massive piece of this entire championship.
Yeah. Absolutely. This was in the manifesto. Kidding me?
Yep.
Page 476. We are near the end of this entire thing. I will be made out to be the villain.
Yep.
I will be exiled, but I will always be a Michigan man.
Amen.
And when we get to that mountaintop, I will be flying my flag like every other Michigan
This might be page like 96.
Oh, you think it's still
started?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yeah, he's young. He might be the head coach.
Harbaugh got to get out of the way. Sharon Moore probably got to get out of the way. Probably one more guy and he'll be in there.
There's only a certain amount of coaches that would leave after a national championship. Marissa, the Colgate softball player, big brain statistician for Game Day, sent me a...
I got to the lobby kind of late, too, but I heard Dahn was in there, too. Was that true?
In the lobby?
No, Gump just kept going around. That's Don Yee. There's Don Yee. There's Don Yee.
Don Yee went up to Herbie when Herbie was down there for 2 seconds and shook Herbie's hand. Don Yee was in the building.
Well, how come Herbie didn't tell us any of that? What did he say? He said Ben was doing stuff.
Yeah, I'm glad that on the last one, Herbie, to leave a nice taste in all our mouths, said, "Hey, fuck off. I'm not hanging out with you guys. I'll see you later."
Yeah, see you in August. That's actually how Reese said goodbye to him at Game Day.
Awesome.
See you in August. And then I think Herbie told SVP last night that Ben's next trip will be to Cabo. Hell of a year for you, Herbie. Hell of a year.
Congrats, Herbie.
Congrats. You earned it, Herbie. 28 years. Now, there'll be Tuesday, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays in January, February, March, April, May, June, and July. Stop by anytime, Herbie. Marissa told me there have been 4 coaches in the Poe era to leave their school right after winning a national title. Tom Osborne retired from coaching at Nebraska in 1997. Howard Schnellenberger left Miami to become coach, GM, part owner of the Spirit of Miami in the USFL, a franchise that never ended. Johnny Majors left Pitt for Tennessee, his alma mater. And Bernie Bierman left Minnesota after being called into military service during World War II.
Yes. Thank you, Bernie.
He served as the head coach of Iowa pre-tour or whatever.
Hell yeah. Bernie
So
Bierman.
not a lot of normal situations where you'd win a national championship and leave.
No.
But if your goal was to restore greatness and there's a coach ready to kind of carry the baton, we could see it. That's where all eyes are, and we're also around the NFL to see who will potentially be on the move next in the coach and GM ranks. We can't thank you enough for allowing us to do this every day. We're back tomorrow. We're probably all going to nap a pretty good bit.
Yep, right away.
I'm gonna kiss that baby.
Oh yeah.
So hard on her cheeks.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them.
By the way.
I hope she remembers me. That's the big. Yeah. Imagine if she sees, it's going to happen.
Oh yeah, big smile. Feet kicking, getting excited.
Hands probably.
Oh yeah.
One of these.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's about to happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, let's go do that. Great work this week, this year, today. Can't wait to see the reaction to everything that happened today.
Yeah. Me too.
You're the greatest people on earth. We'll be back tomorrow. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change your life. Goodbye.
Gentlemen, congratulations. Thank you so much for taking the time where you're contractually obligated to. So I appreciate you guys being here.
I want to be here. I just want you to know.
Come on.
I have watched you and do your thing, man. Nothing but respect and praise for you. The shirt, where's the shirt though?
Yeah.
And the guys love you too, man. The players love you. The kids love you.
Come on. That makes me feel really good. I had a couple booze cocktails last night. Was in here a little tired. You just made me feel
Mercy,
great.
I don't want to hear about that.
No, it was me. It was me, not your boys or anything like that. But let's talk about this. So I have a show every day. A lot of things are said on it. And I'll start with you, Coach. Adam Schefter joined us, Michigan man. And he talked about you and your trip back to Michigan. And he said that he thought one of your missions was to restore greatness at Michigan. Like, as a Michigan man, you almost felt obligated to your alma mater to come back and restore greatness. Now, I don't know if he was speaking for you or if he was just thinking that that was the case. 3 straight college football playoffs, now a national championship appearance. Do you feel like you've done that for Michigan? And was that a mindset going back to coach there?
Yeah, I wanted. I mean, there's a Michigan man. I try to live up to that standard. It's how you describe that. There's no real one definition, but if when they throw dirt over top of me, if somebody would eulogize me and say he was a Michigan man, that would and that would sum it up. I'd feel really good about that.
3 straight, and then now a national championship appearance. I think a lot of Michigan people in khakis are saying you definitely did that. And for you, Coach, I've got a chance to learn a lot about the history of Washington football this year because they've been taking a trip down memory lane with how great Washington football used to be. I think a lot of America is getting introduced to the great fan base that the Washington football Huskies have had. Was that something that you talked about whenever you took the job? Was that expected of you? Like, hey, we're trying to get back to a national prominence. And did you expect it to happen as quickly?
Yeah, I knew there was certainly a history of greatness that was surrounding the program, and that was very attractive to me. I think there was these roots, these bones about the program that had championship kind of a feel to it. Knew it was possible because it's been done before, and just coming in, I guess. Not in an arrogant way, but just feeling like that's what we're going to do is compete for championships, and to do it here in year 2 is special. It's a huge credit to our players. It's a huge credit to the people that helped bring them in, even prior to our staff. There's just a way that our guys have embraced our coaching staff coming in here in these 2 years. It goes both ways, but man, it's just awesome. Having these moments right now bring back a lot of the memories of those great teams in the past, and hearing more and more stories and me being even more educated, only having been here 2 years. It's really a fun time right now being a Washington Husky.
Coach, we were out there for game day, 6 a.m. local out there in Washington, Seattle, packed out. Rain, miserable, cold, your fans show. I didn't know what to expect. I was a little bit of a hater going in. And then it was like the most active crowd I've ever seen. I'm like, I did not know West Coast football was like this. They're like, well, Washington, it's different. Speaking of different, your quarterback seems to be different. This dude's accuracy is phenomenal. His arm, a cannon. His leadership, great. But I think the story going into the year was he came back to do this. Right? Isn't this kind of why he came back to Washington? And with everything he's been through, why is he the perfect leader for the team that you have?
Yeah, well, first of all, it was great having you out there. And
it was awesome.
We didn't have that sitting next to us, but we had.
They brought this thing in first, the bottom part. Mm-hmm. That was a little small. You know what I mean? And then they brought this top part on. I'm like, now we're talking.
Sweet.
That's what we're playing for, Coach. Will you touch this? Will you touch this? Me too, man. I don't got no shot. But Michael Penix, why do you think he's the perfect guy for your team?
Yeah, he just, going back to when he came here, it helped us kickstart things really quickly. He knew the offense. It was the same system we ran back in 2019, and so we really got off and rolling quickly. But what I've really seen out of him this last year, beyond the skill sets and all the things that he can do with his accuracy, his arm talent, he's really led our team. And I have such an appreciation for the journey he's been on, how he's taken all those experiences and really poured them into making sure that he can pass those moments that he's learned from. No regrets, control it. You control all those things that he stands for. having faith and just confidence in who you are, that things can, the sun will come up the next day, when adversity does strike. He's taken all of that and just poured into our team. Our team, again, has embraced him in every way possible, and it's just been an awesome piece to see from my vantage point as a head coach, seeing this group of gentlemen come together, and obviously led by Michael.
Yeah, thanks for what you guys did for the state of Indiana there. Yeah, that was the most exciting college football we had in our state for a while there. You guys were dicing and slicing. Coach Harbaugh, a wise man once said, I like my locker room to be like my mother's bathing suits, in one piece.
In one piece.
And then I also heard a wise man say that chickens were a skittish bird, and then that same man said, I was completely wrong. Yeah. We're talking
Takes a big man to admit they're wrong.
Big man. Huge to do that. Low maintenance, high production.
Correct.
These chickens. So with both those things coming together, do you think the reason why your locker room has been able to handle everything and has been able to stay in one piece like your mother's bathing suit is because they're a bunch of chickens, low maintenance, high production? Why do you think your group has been able to handle everything that's been thrown their way this year and not blinked? I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm forced to pick games every week on game day. Don't love it. Mm-hmm. Not an easy way to be a hero in every town, especially in a very, we'll say, aggressive college fan base in some places. Got some death threats in places, for picking against their team. I assumed with the amount of distractions that your team had this year, 18 to 23-year-olds, that something would get in. It's hard to win a football game. Your team has stayed the course, stayed tight, remained that bathing suit. Why do you think that's the case? And who do you think is responsible for that outside yourself?
Sure. Well, a lot of factors go into it. A lot of times it's 1,000 little things that add up to make all the difference. But, different factors. Sometimes it's as simple as, I don't care what the frick you say about us. We know who we are, and we're going to try to dominate this day, go to sleep, and then wake up and dominate the next day. Another part is, it's low maintenance equals the lower the maintenance, the higher your production. I don't have any scientific evidence to support that. It's just what I've noticed. And the big thing is the players. It's always comes back to the players, Pat, in my opinion. And Coach said, he had a quarterback that came back. He had members of his team that came back because they wanted to accomplish something. We had the exact same thing. J.J. McCarthy, when he walked off the podium last year after the TCU game, said he will be back. We'll be back. And I had a reporter ask me yesterday, J.J. McCarthy last year left the podium and he said that he would be back, whatever. And I said, not whatever. Yeah. That's huge. Michael Penix, it wasn't just a resolution for Michael or JJ. I mean, that was repetition. That went in every single day. And had they not done that, it would have been, that guy would have been the first guy to say, what went wrong, knew it was going to go wrong, predicted it was going to go wrong, not giving a frick, and, putting that repetition in every single day. Those players made that happen. I take very little credit for what our players and coaches were able to accomplish this year. But, yeah.
Well, I love it. I love your teams, watching them. Last question for me for both of you, and I appreciate it. And I think you probably already had to address this 1,000 times. And as we get closer to the game, I'm sure you're both excited to not have to do it anymore. But as you watch film of his team, what do you think his culture is? What do you think he's looking for whenever he's recruiting a guy? Can you tell that by watching film and watching what type of team he has on the field?
Yeah, tough, physical, connected, really talented players, really well coached and connected.
How about you, Coach?
Yeah, I think the thing that I've been impressed with, because you always kind of identify it when it's something that you really feel is important, and you can see that, Coach uses the word connected. I think that's a great one, but you can see a team that's just fighting all together, all heading the same direction, want it for each other. A lot of the things that I think we've utilized as far as having people maybe doubt us or challenge us in different ways. We've had each of those things happen in our programs, over the last couple of years. And, it's just, it's all about just you. And I think Coach has done an awesome job galvanizing his team and bringing them together and just, being there for each other. I think that's what our team has done. We're there to fight. But, Coach when you talk about toughness and physicality, Coach Harbaugh and his team, this would be the greatest challenge we've had all year long by far, both sides of the ball in all ways, all phases.
Well, great work this year by both you and your teams. Congratulations. Coach already touched this. Maybe you'll get to do the same. What did you say to Reese? Resilience, cool, but I want to be relentless. Bruce Willis, Die Hard, okay. Give me the Terminator.
Yeah.
You both proved that this year. Congratulations. Thank you so much for taking time.